Um,
We can Pathfinder now. Once I get this last thing sorted out, which is just getting the stream view going on. Where is it? There we go. Now I have the game on the stream. Hi and hello everyone. Welcome to Pathfinder. It's happening again.
The Finding.
Yep,
Epiphany.
the pathfinding of the finding is
The
happening.
pathfinding.
No, that's too much.
Or too little, perhaps.
Yes.
Okay, we have music
Watch
now.
today's episode to find out.
Yeah, watch the today's episode that starts right now to find out. So, um, last time around, things were going down. Namely, the group returning from the town of Stall after dealing with a shape-shifting demon that kidnapped your boy, your man, your pilot, and then, well, he solved some problems. Rescue, quote-unquote rescued, a blizzardling brought him back to Merging along with his bodyguard, the Minotaur Duncan. Where once upon Merging, you all delivered him to Branislav, and then you kind of set up a meeting with Branislav's employer, one so-called Blizzard of the West, a ancient a being of unimaginable, incredible powers. Then the meeting happened. You got to meet, not in person, but through a enchanted mirror with the Blizzard of the West. Talked it out with him, and the Blizzard of the West pretty much told you all that these two dragons in this land of Sofak, Zoldur the Elder Watcher and Korin Yurgonod, they need to be watched out for because they have plans for these Titan souls that you have been acquiring. And their plans are, well, Korin's plan is still unknown to a degree, but Zoldur's plan is to uh, become a god, pretty much, it would seem, according to what Korin has told you. And as it happens, the Blizzard of the West told you of a time long ago when mortals have meddled with the gods before and everything went to shit, in a way, in a manner of speaking. So it would be good if people stop meddling with gods and divine beings and powers and whatnot. So, for any one dragon to gain enough souls to ascend and become a god, that would be particularly dangerous and not ideal. So he had tasked Branislav with staying here at Mergen instead of returning to whence upon he came, and keeping a watch over these two dragons and aid you for in those regards, or rather, less so aid you, but hire you or get you to assist him whensoever he was going to do that. Whenever Branislav were to go to investigate these dragons, that he should request your aid, and that you also should, if at all possible, aid him with that. And to make sure that you're all in good graces, he also gave you a reward for helping rescue a Blizzardling. The reward was nothing less than to give you knowledge, because within knowledge lies power. This knowledge that he gave you was of pretty much how those towers you've been finding all along work. You learned that those towers, once the pyre is lit, you can teleport between them. He did not specify as much of the details, but he pretty much just told you that that's possible and how to do it. He also said that if you have enough Titan souls within you, you can offer those Titan souls at a tower and physically have the tower travel or fly around and about along the ley lines. You thanked him, I believe, and then he just left. After that, all of you decided to... I don't remember exactly what happened afterwards, but I have written down that you have had a conversation with Professor Yurgonod and Rags, so who knows what came out of that conversation. But all that I know is that the day ended with Knick-Knack getting a letter from Dueling that told him, Knick-Knack, to meet him, Dueling, um, alone at night in the academy. And that's where we left off. So, gents, it is nighttime. All of you are in your dormitory, and Knick-Knack just got a letter from Dulin, the dwarf, who's apparently got a family vendetta against him, asking him to be met. What do you do?
Good question.
Well,
So
this
Knick-Knack, are you
definitely
going to go
sounds
out
like a
to your
lead
death?
showing.
It does. You'll be pushed right off that ledge. It's a long
Well.
way down, too, and I don't have any spells like Featherfall.
Can recommend.
Oh my god, there's no whisper option. How am I supposed to whisper that?
There's no whisper?
We didn't turn the module on.
Ugh. Ugh.
That's fine. I don't need to whisper. I'll just wait for this to be finished. I just didn't want to interrupt. Never mind. So I just interrupted it. Sorry. Go on.
You can also send it. Send me a message on Telegram. I'm double checking it all the time to make sure I don't miss anything. Go on.
Well, part of me is wondering if Rusty over here counts as anyone, or if going with him counts as alone. Which is especially funny because with the feat I just took, I did increase his size to large. It's
I
somewhat
think you
intimidating.
just asked the same question, Knick-Knack.
Yeah, basically. Kind of. Do I want... Well, he's going to be a nuisance regardless. But I also don't trust him to not attempt
Not
to
shove
shove
you
me.
off.
Yeah. Two. I could go in riding a large-size construct companion and do a show of force and get this dealt with.
You can pretend it's not sentient, so technically you're the only person there? I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't really have free will, so...
I mean, yeah, but, you know. Oh no. Why is it?
So that the Whisper module can be activated.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think... I guess I'll go. We don't have a means of quickly communicating between ourselves in case something goes horribly wrong. That said, just give me directions.
The letter, if he gave you directions?
Yeah, it says meet me at night.
Yeah, I told you where specifically in the academy. I just don't want to go into detail.
That's fair. I just wanted to know, because, like, if it doesn't give me directions, then I'm not going.
There are directions, yeah.
Speak his name 3 times in front of the mirror. I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't say how far I have to go alone. You could be around a corner.
True.
You do know the place where he has specified the meeting place to be close to the waterfalls, kind of overlooking the city of Mergin. And it's one of the most kind of secluded places of the academy. It's not particularly fully unabandoned and out of sight of everyone. The only problem, particularly, is that it's evening, so most people would not be out and about.
Yeah,
And of course, since there's a waterfall there, there's a ledge.
yeah, I was thinking that too.
Oh, there's absolutely a ledge.
I mean, we can wait down at the end of the waterfall with a net if somebody gets thrown off. No.
Might be him. I reckon I might be able to make it through alive. Sure. I guess I'll go meet him.
By yourself.
With Rusty.
Okay.
You don't have any invisibility or,
We don't have any invisibility nonsense, as far as I know, unless people took it up as a second level spell at some point.
no. Couldn't be me. I mean, we could just be around the corner or something.
I
Yes, we
did
want to
suggest
go
that,
there.
but just part of me wants to be a cheeky sod, because fuck them, but well, I mean, it's
Maybe
nice.
they're going to work it out.
Maybe. And they're also not just grabbing you behind my back and trying to shove you off the edge of a cliff as if you had anything to do with it. So, yeah, I guess I'll go and humor them.
Alright. Good luck.
You have proficiency with not being thrown off ledges. Alright, so
I cast Thunder Wave.
so all of you guys kind of accompany Knick-Knack kind of out the dorm, just to make sure there's no ambushes waiting for you right outside the door or anything like that. And once all of you are outside, you kind of just give your well wishes to Knick-Knack as he departs with a humongous, newly upgraded Rusty, which is twice his size as before. Now it's a little tank, pretty much.
The things you can do when you reach 4th level. Wonderful.
Alright, so once all of you are there, you're kind of paying attention to Knick-Knack as he walks off and disappears into the distance. Going towards the waterfall cliff to that overwatches the city of Mergin, all the way down there, to meet with Dulling, the dwarf, who apparently does not quite like your face. For reasons now not so secret anymore. Although it was never really truly secret from the very get-go, I suppose.
No.
He did go out the gates shouting. So, I'll be needing 2 things. First, Vice, I need you to make a roll for me. And I
What?
suppose that'll be
Kind.
a hidden society roll check.
Oh my god. Good thing I took that feat and I don't have minus skills anymore.
Yeah.
But society is apparently a +6 somehow.
I think you're proficient. You're trained in it.
Yes,
You're also
I am.
smart boy.
Apparently.
Did you make that a secret check?
You said secret.
It is secret.
It
Oh,
is.
okay. It doesn't look too different for me. Oh no, yeah, it is slightly bluish. There's just so many whispers and now everything is blue. And Knick-Knack, I need you
Oh, no.
a secret perception check from you.
Okay. Open the character sheet.
Can't believe you haven't had it open yet.
Well, I haven't needed it open since we whatevered earlier. Anyway. No modifiers.
Nay. Mm-hmm. So, so once you guys leave the dorm and are just stood there outside, Knick-Knack announces his plans to go on his own. His own includes only him and Rusty, and then he goes off by himself.
And then Wildak says, I think we should follow. Make sure that he doesn't like get thrown off the ledge.
I mean, I'm down.
We could stay in the bushes. Just, don't mess with them or anything. And just don't. I would feel bad, I know Branislav isn't here. And I would certainly, I appreciated somebody was looking out for me.
Yeah, I'm coming along.
All right. So all
No
three of you wait for a moment until Knick-Knack is kind of off into the distance before you nod and start following from a very long distance.
Follow the tank.
Except that you're so focused on following Knick-Knack that only when you're halfway to the cliff, to the waterfall edges, cliffs, you realize that Vise is not with you anymore.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Was it pushed off already? Damn it!
So instead of trying to figure out where Vise went, instead you just go towards, keep following Knick-Knack. And you stop when you realize that Knick-Knack has come next, face to face pretty much with Dulin, the dwarf. Knick-Knack, what you see in front of you is Dulin, the dwarf. He looks awfully still and he is kind of just T-posing but with his arms down pretty much. He's incredibly stiff. When he notices that you showed up, he just lifts up an arm and seems to hold a letter in his hand.
I take the letter.
Alright. You take the letter, it's pretty nice, sealed. You don't quite recognize the seal. But you open the letter and I imagine you read it to yourself.
Yep.
So a letter should have opened up in your screen.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Alex and Wildak, you're watching from a distance. Since you're there as well, I'll give the two of you the opportunity to make a secret perception check as well. You're not so close, but close enough. Close-ish, as they say. Oh, look at you. Both of you passed the test. And what you see and notice is that Dueling the dwarf, you have seen him before. Every single time you've seen him, Dueling was always kind of like agitated and always in emotion. He doesn't seem to be one of those persons who are able to just stand still. And yet, he's incredibly, ridiculously still. Even the movement which he uses to deliver the letter to Knick-Knack is horribly still. And it's pretty obvious to the both of you, Wildak and Lex, that he is, Dueling, under some sort of enchantment.
Oh no.
Oh no, drugs. What?
Or worse, magic.
Damn.
I wonder if it's that stuff that happens at that other academy when they watch over you and, I know Rags like reported him for all of this stuff, so maybe they're doing something to him.
I finished reading the letter, and somewhat put it away.
Once you finish reading the letter, Dueling, he just extends his other hand and you see that he's holding some kind of crystal orb. Open palms kind of handing it to you.
Yep.
He wants you to ponder his orb.
Nope. I take the orb, and I pocket it, and I go back to my dorm.
Alright. You just leave Dueling there and you turn around and start walking back. Only to notice that not too far from where you were, Lex and Wildak were kind of there, peering over the corner of a building.
Oh, hi, Knick-Knack. We were just having a... whatever.
Making sure you didn't get knocked off a cliff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the concern. Though that apparently was not in the cards. It's actually rather concerning what's going on here.
But
So
what
what
did the letter
happened?
say?
He has been enchanted by our Elder Watcher friend.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
He is offering me a bargain.
But the dean said that he couldn't affect any of the students here.
This isn't a student here.
He isn't paying, right? That was the condition. Or
No,
being
he's a transfer.
Oh. Well, that's a technicality, okay.
In short, he will... If I take this orb that Doolin just handed me and shatter it on the ground, he shall deal with him.
What do you mean deal with him? He's going to kill him?
Apparently, it will involve just sending him back to Lignia.
Is that so bad?
It's less... it's less a thing of taking the deal, as it were, and, well, less the reward of the agreement here, and more what it would imply by accepting that I have a problem with. Also, he signs his name with the last name Kestenbaum, so that answers that.
Well, yeah, we knew that.
Well, I didn't think he would have necessarily kept her name in all the official documents.
Maybe it's his name.
That'd
Wait,
be
no, I'm not
slightly
that.
odd. No, you're not.
So what happens if we just say, screw you? I mean, does something bad happen to Doolin?
Yeah, as far as I can tell. Oh yes, he's also name-dropping our detective friend. I forgot about that one.
You can, should you want, Knick-Knack, read the letter out
Yes, I think I will share it with them. I guess I could also just physically read it out loud now. Good eve, draconic kin of mine. It's been far too long since we have but exchanged words, and I dare say that the fault it lies within me. I did not make a good impression, I fear, and left a sour taste in your mouth, what with my threats. I must confess, the very sight of that greedy knave Corin fills me with disgust, and upon learning of your jacknappery to have us meet, I was beside myself with rage and contempt for the whole lot of you. Now, however, I realize my folly. You can rest assured I shall bring no harm towards your detective friend, for in a surprising turn of events I came to find his company quite pleasant. Instead, I offer a truce. I have heard tale that this fellow classmate of yours has been providing quite a handful, and should you wish to see me deal with him permanently, all you have to do is take the magically enchanted orb in his and shatter it upon the ground. I presume that second his should be hand, but I couldn't resist. Worry you not, for the permanency of which I speak means only his return to the cold kingdom of Lignia, and nothing more. With my sincerest regards, Zolder Kestenbaum.
Oh,
I still think we shouldn't have anything to do with him.
yeah.
I mean, his choice of bedfellow has me somewhat concerned as well, quite frankly.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's happened to the detective? I don't think that there was anything going on there, but who knows?
I meant Lady Kestenbaum, but sure. I am
sorry.
somewhat concerned about what state the detective is currently in, though. Regardless, I shall not be shattering this orb.
Good. I think that we shouldn't, because we don't want to owe him a favor for sure.
No. Sort of tempted to bring this to Branislav so he can eye over it. Because this situation is somewhat disconcerting, in my opinion. Is he still standing there?
Yep.
Menacingly.
Very disconcerting.
You see that every now and then Doolin kind of twitches, and the twitches get more frequent as times goes on. You imagine that whatever enchantment is upon him is starting to wear off.
Well, it's hopefully not going to be like that for much longer. I recommend that we leave before he decides that this is our fault
We
somehow.
didn't. I agree.
Let's head back to the dorm.
Alright. So all three of you head back to the dorm. And whilst you are doing that, Vice, you try and look around, find clues here and there and everywhere, and it takes you kind of a while of doing some late night research into the library, and you mostly just can't really find anyone willing to talk to you about what you're inquiring. You do, however, receive a note as that is going on, while you're trying to figure out whom you could speak to get this going. You just start walking in a random direction, put your hands in your pockets, and then you realize somehow that a note made its way into your pocket, one you didn't have before. You pull it out and you see a bunch of scribble scrabble that you're not entirely sure what it means. I will ask you to go ahead and make me an occult roll.
You got reverse pickpocketed.
Just in case, is
The
it
person who's
is this fit going to work? To that probably not because it's not a magic item.
No. It does not have the mental possession, prediction, or scrying traits.
All right, secret, right?
Yep. Please.
behold these bonuses with which the only way to apply them is to have identified the object that you need to identify.
Nudge me if a hero point is required to be spent, so that kind of defeats the blind roll.
Sure.
We'll see.
Oh yes.
Actually, no, that's a critical success.
Ooh.
Nice.
Also defeating the point of the blind roll.
I mean, you know it's a critical success because you realize that this note has a bunch of code and gibberish, and upon clever deduction, you are able to piece together the code, and you're very sure that this is the code that you're looking for because of the things that it says. It pretty much tells you that there is a place in Mergen where these people that you're looking for meet, but they also do have a branch here at the academy, and they are always keen and eager to teach people about the secrets of the cosmos. Should you wish to get initiated in that.
Is there like maybe a date when the meeting is going to happen, or they have it like? Or I should.
Yeah, pretty much the note that you have in your hand, it tells you that where to find them, and it's pretty much just like every day at the academy, in the libraries, in the researcher areas.
Didn't expect it to be after school club, but okay.
There are some people who gather up. There's cults everywhere. Some of them are rather small and not serious enough to not be considered a cult, but instead a club. And they meet in the academy, at the library, the research part. Although you should be able to partake in those club meetings, you have to be a member. And this this note pretty much just tells you what to say and to whom and how, to let them know that you're not particularly a member, but an aspirant.
And here I was. I shall investigate then. Not now, because I will have time today. I have time today for this.
No, because the club is not a meeting after hours. They meet during the day. But pretty much just tells you to during the afternoons to go to the what's it called? The temples. And in the temples there's a bunch of classrooms for occult theory and research, one of which is the astrology lab, and they tell you to meet them there. And I have this note on you.
I shall do that.
Alright. Then you return to the dorms to find that Knick-Knack, Lex, and Wildakas are conspiring.
I'm disappointed
Sorry,
that-
I wasn't conspiring much.
It's not what it looks like. Wait.
I'm disappointed that Foundry doesn't play gifts. Apparently. When did you get back device?
Device?
You came back and we were conspiring or something. I don't know.
Yeah, what have you been up to? I bet you've been conspiring.
Why didn't you help protect Knick-Knack in case something goes wrong?
Because you're capable.
I'll take that compliment. So what did you do?
Ah, yes, my favorite activity.
Nothing.
T-posing.
You're not joining a cult, are you?
You're so suspicious of me. Can I have free time? Why do
No.
I have to go everywhere with 4 of you?
Yes. We only do things in a group.
How it's crazy number. 5 of you, yes.
You have other adventurer friends. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm cheating on you.
Oh! No!
No.
But nay. I was just looking into my personal thing.
Oh, is there something maybe we could help you with?
No! I'd like it to be low at the moment, but if there's something will occur, I will notify you all.
All right.
So, with that,
Guess we all go to bed.
yep, with
Yeah.
that, all of you then decide that that should about do it. You all go to bed. Rather early because you think to yourselves tomorrow is the weekend or rather tomorrow is Fantasy Saturday, 7th day. And who knows what kind of shenanigans you can get yourselves into. Do you have a pilot to rescue theoretically? So you need plenty of rest. And you start to get that going on. So all of you can go ahead and give yourselves a rest just to make sure you have replenished all of your spell slots, features, and whatnot.
And 2 hero points.
And then everything works correctly.
Yes. And yeah, you should have 2 hero points to start with. So, you wake up rather early on 7th day. Perhaps you have got plans and whatnots that you want to get going. And what is up on the schedule for the 4 of you?
We're going to go and find a pilot in a pocket universe.
Or just the cave.
Hybrid. But just to be safe in case of before library time, if I can do it today. Because I didn't specify it if they work on Fantasy Saturdays or not. I'll probably try to go out of sight of these people who definitely think I'm sus imposter baka silly. and stuff
Yeah.
like
Well,
that.
especially when you're suspiciously looking over your shoulder to see that we're not watching you.
Also,
Yeah.
Nothing
you
is more suspicious than looking suspicious.
I
I
will go
can
to the bathroom and then a fox randomly comes out. Yes.
yeah, you go to the bathroom and hop into the vent. Not suspicious.
Ah, yes.
It's
Strange
my
how-
task. It's my task. I swear.
So,
Strange how Vice has been in the bathroom for 5 hours.
Yeah.
um, r- rather than having to look over your shoulders, as a matter of fact, everyone decides to go to the library because clearly, not everyone has still woken up and the workshop is still kind of closed. And if you're going anywhere, you ideally would need to get your the flying ship, the Wyrm, or who knows, maybe go to the tower next to somewhat east-west of Mergin of the Academy, and then try that out. Who knows? Regardless,
That's
all
that's
of
my suggestion.
all of you do go to the library early in the morning because it's the one thing that is open. Less so to perform research, but more so to get some books with you to research Dione on the way.
Yeah, we definitely need to figure out that guy.
One book to go, please. Thank you.
Yep. The library
That's how libraries work.
Yes.
the library people are more than okay with borrowing books, because usually you
Oops.
just get the books to read whilst here, or you take them to your dorms. Never really to travel, but they don't need to know about that. So,
Yeah.
I'll consider this a research role for trying to figure out this nonsense. Everyone who wants to research will be making a secret check once I figure out what it is.
It's a perfect time while everyone does their tasks to sneak away
Yes, exactly.
into the Zapadacian reactor.
I
Hey,
think-
somebody has seen that fox going over there.
Nice.
What is it?
Not seen him before now.
Hmm.
Wonder if he's a transfer student.
Well,
Oh no, it's
I
not
think
protected, Kev.
only are still fiends.
Religion?
Yeah,
Or
religion or society.
Hidden, yes.
Yeah, hidden.
I've got
Yes.
society.
Before I was playing loose goose with the skills you could use, but now I'm demanding the correct ones.
Oh no, he's strict.
That's fine. I'm fortunately proficient in society.
Good for you, yeah. You do some research on the creature. Look it up. And learn a thing or two or three about the Dione specifically. Let me just recall what exactly you do. Remember.
How much did we research that thing? I can't remember. Did we know half of it or something?
Not
Or nothing
particularly.
at all?
I don't think you guys got. When you try to research it on the field, encountering it, you failed your roll. And
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you're asked about it to Professor Brenislav, and he pretty much told you what it is, which is why you have the
Yeah.
the knowledge to go and look specifically for books on this matter.
Got it.
And
The only thing we found out on the field is that it doesn't seem to like fire very much.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was
And
fun.
then it doesn't like daylight.
I mean, relatable, but damn.
Well, it's less so that it does not like daylight, but more so it cannot stay shapeshifted if in daylight. Regardless, what you do learn about the Oni is that it's a level 8 creature. It has an AC of 19 and 125 hit points. And that's pretty much it.
I think we dodged the bullet there. Not fighting that thing.
I agree.
Say that to the guy who is dead or not, or yes or not.
Was kidnapped.
Look, we dodged the bullet, but somebody had to take the bullet, okay?
In a firefight, all bullets end up somewhere.
True.
So, that's what you are able to discern about the creature in your hastily made research. So, that's what you're able to find out on your way, because after you gone to the library, you got yourself some books, and that's it. You just get a lot of books under your arms and just took off. Vice. What you find
Yes.
instead of books is what's her face again? There's a female student of the academy who meets you. She's a Nagaji, and she looks you up and down like not entirely sure why you're there until you presented the note. And then an air of recognition surges up in her eyes as she looks over at you. Ah, so you're a new aspirant then?
I believe so.
Looking to learn the secrets of the universe.
That's exactly why I'm here.
What is your name, young one?
Wise.
Wise. Interesting name. My name is Yade, and she extends her hand to you. Yade of the Plains.
I'll guess I'll shake it.
She smiles kind of broadly and cocks her head, looking at you up and down a little bit more, almost as if she's sizing you up. But then eventually she says, unfortunately, we don't meet at the astrology club on weekends, but do come back during the week. Or if you were interested, you can watch one of the occultism classes with us.
I might do both. If it gives me the information I want.
And what information is that specifically that you seek, young one?
You said yourself the secret of universe.
Well, the universe is vast and holds within it many secrets. One cannot hope to learn all of its secrets in one single lifetime. You have to learn to pick and choose.
I know, I do have specific one, but me being a warden would give you a big hint on that. And I wouldn't want to make it easy on you, wouldn't I?
Oh, you're a warden. That explains much. Oh, very well then. Wise. I hope to meet you in class or at the astrology club one of these days.
Very well.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to return to this book. and she
I'll look at the book cover, what she's reading about. Is it Argus the werewolf? Svank.
She slinks back into her corner at the library and she pulls up her book, and it's not Argus the werewolf spanker, instead it's Boris the eldritch lover.
Ooh.
Yes, the academy library has a smart section too, it seems.
Oh,
And
of
the
course.
gathering of people, these people happens in it, it seems.
Of course. The all that you really get is the cover of the book, which is the title, Boris the Eldritch Lover, and all that you can really see is just what appears to be like a human male, kind of half drowned in a puddle of goo that kind of is star color, for a better of for lack of a better word. It looks like you're staring at the universe and the galaxies in how this goo is colored. But also there's like facial features, like an eye here, a mouth there, and several tentacles which are coming from the goo and kind of wrapping around him in a very, very sensual way. You get exactly what kind of book this is.
Oh god.
I shall not ask questions. Just politely nod and go my way.
Sure. You go your way back to the workshop, which is where you imagine your friends are meeting at, and lo and behold, all of you are there indeed. Knick-Knack finishes some last-time adjustments on Rusty, apparently calibrating the wheels for the long voyage ahead, especially with the new excess weight that it's going to be carrying in of itself. And all of you are ready, I suppose, unless you have any further preparations you would like to do or any last-minute planning.
I don't have anything.
My character just looks suspiciously at Wise, but nothing else. It's a whole process. It takes 5 minutes.
Sure. So, are you going to be taking the Wyrm, which has been refueled, or going
We have
to
other options.
walk up to the tower?
How long would that take?
A few hours. You will probably
I mean,
reach the tower by like noon, and now it's 7 in the morning ish.
we could walk, but I'm down for either, so you decide.
Well, it would be a good way to try these towers out.
Yeah. Don't have to bring the ship back. I'll have Knick-Knack fly alone while everybody else takes the portal. Knick-Knack, any comments?
I guess that's none.
Is Knick-Knack here even?
Probably not.
Cobalt?
Kabu is lost.
Alright, so we're holding that plan in the back burner then.
Okay.
The idea that instead, what I'm gathering is Knick-Knack went with the ship by himself somewhere else, and the rest of you went towards the tower to try out the teleportation shenanigans.
That sounds like a good plan.
Alright, that's what I'm assuming is going to happen. If not, all of you just went together, either way. So, which tower are you planning to meet in at? Because you can't just,
I'm guessing it's the one that is north of Briceback.
Of Braceback.
Braceback.
All right. You have never been to that tower. You only know of it. But you have been told that you can say the name of a place. And if there's a tower there, you get teleported to that tower.
Ah,
Correct.
So what you're going to do is go to the tower, say Braceback, and see what happens.
Reisbach.
After lighting the pyre there.
I'm sorry.
If that is supposed to be fantasy German, it's Breisbach, but it's not important.
Sure, I'll try and keep that in mind, but I'll probably slaughter the name of every city here.
I'm joking, it's okay.
So, you have been told that the tower has to have its spire lit up for you to be able to travel between them. And you have never been to the tower in Braceback,
Correct.
but you have heard, I don't remember when or how, that it was lit up already.
Oh, okay.
Do we know that? Okay.
You have never been
It's
there.
lit up on the map at the very least.
I mean, yeah, but
Oh
I don't
yeah,
see a
I
fire
remember,
symbol.
I remember now.
We only know the one that's lit is the one at Sock.
Yeah, I think so too.
I remember now. The Professor Pitacos found out there were two towers, one in Braceback and one in Celebron. And then he said, I'm going to check them out. And then he went by himself and Talon, both of them went to both towers. They went to Braceback, lit up the pyre, and then went to Celebron, and there they found a problem.
Ah, 2 towers, 1
Got
pyre.
it.
Got it.
Yes.
Oh lord.
So it was Professor Pitacos who went to Braceback and lit it up, and then told you about it, and then was like, "Oh, we need to find out what the whole mystery of the towers is." But he's done that and has let you know. So all of you are trying to teleport then through the towers to Braceback, and on the other hand, you're having Knick-Knack fly by himself on the ship there to meet you there.
Correct.
Sure.
And
Cobalt?
here's the chance for Cobalt to say different.
I was missing for like 10 minutes because I seriously need to go to the bathroom, so
It's okay. We're just
I'm
thinking
very
about,
lost.
if
Why are we
should-
going to Briceback?
Yes, because of the tower and teleportation thing to try it out. So either we go by foot or you take the ship there and we go and try the teleportation. Unless you want to come with us without the ship, that's an option too. It's not that far away.
The idea was to test the tower, tower's teleportation and go to a faraway tower, and that's the furthest one you know. So part of your crew or your party would go by teleportation, and someone else would go by flying ship, to make sure that that it works.
Well, my only problem with that is charging the charge of the thing, because that's a
It's
fair
charged.
distance. Well, yes, and then back.
I mean, we can
Right.
charge it back on
Oh.
the way home.
Technically, Braceback is a major city in the kingdom, and technically, you can always talk your way into getting the local mages and arcanists to recharge it.
We really
Yeah,
should get
but
a
we
new
don't
one of
have-
those.
Also,
Letters.
There should be a gas station, arcane station.
Knick-Knack, give me a secret magic tradition check. So Arcana, Nature, Religion, or Occultism.
Well, Arcana is the only one I am proficient in. Last time I checked.
So give me a roll.
So I will do that.
A Dark Dan Delicious roll.
Secret roll, you said.
Secret, yes. Oh no, you might want to reroll that. We have a hero point. Ah, much better. You think about all of this nonsense that your party mates are talking about, and then you remember. You were there for the meeting with the Blizzard of the West, and you think back to the words it said. You can offer a soul to the tower to have it fly around. And then you remember that the pyre at the tower is made of cosmium, the same material that the arcane alternator in the ships is made of. So you think to yourself, maybe it is possible to offer Titan souls to the arcane alternator to recharge it.
That is an expensive charge, though.
Well,
That's not worth a Titan
very.
soul.
you don't know how much it would charge.
1/16 of a Titan soul. Thank you, yes.
It's like bitcoins, you know.
Yeah, I was about
1/16
to
is
say
enough.
Hey, lend me a bit of Titan soul, I'll pay you back. Random person to your dams who is definitely a bot, yes.
So, you think to yourself, Knick-Knack, you're almost 100% sure that this will work, you're just not entirely sure how much it would charge the ship. But it's another alternative you just realize you have.
I mean, flying
Certainly
a tower
useful in
sounds
a-
amazing.
Well, we don't know how quickly the towers fly, is the other thing.
Only one way to find out.
But
I don't think we should move this tower. I mean, won't people miss it?
I mean, we can just move teleportation quick travel points. That's an option. We don't have to use it right now, but
that is an interesting question. Is if well, first off, because I was gone, did we stop wanting to rescue our pilot?
No, we're trying to get back to Kurlsberg. Because that's where the Coupleberg, excuse me. That's where the house is with all the arcane runes and everything.
so it's behind the tower.
It is? I thought the house was in Stow.
Oh, was the house in Stow? Yes, the house is in Stow.
Was it? I
is-
don't remember.
Yes, we went to Stow with
Yes.
the werewolves and the Oni.
Yep.
This is why I'm so very confused why we're going to Breisbach.
Because I had a bad slip of memory and suddenly thought because there was a circle there, that's where we were going.
No, I don't even remember what these circles were for. Let me get rid
Yeah,
of them.
that's a good point. I think
The
that
circles
is-
were just the cities that you have been told to go to, which is the closest city to the Titans that you were supposed to be dealing with. The basilisks near Keppelberg, and the healing Titan, the Glimno, next to Den Shaw.
Got it.
So if our
I think we
pilot,
should take the boat and just go the same way we did coming back.
yeah, let's worm and to Stow and see if we can save the pilot, and if everything works, we can still do the Breisbach Tower trip extension afterwards. Let's see how we're feeling after that.
I will say that we should light Mount Scherhoffen on the way through.
Oh, yeah, sure, on the way through. Watch out for those paintings in there if there are any.
I think the bonfire is just like in the middle. We just chuck a Molotov in there or something.
Ah, if only it was that easy.
Cold alchemist fire, I hear.
So,
Drop a.
there's a little bit of a however going on, which is you can just go, but the plan is still viable in a way. You can have half the party go to the tower and teleport to the tower near Sock and have Knick-Knack catch you there if it does indeed work.
Sure, we do know that sock is lit.
Bam. Yeah, I guess that works. Definitely won't need
And that's
charging on the
easy
way
and-
there.
Yeah, it's easy, and that's on the ley line, so it's not a big distance.
Are the blue lines the ley lines, or is that just another?
They are.
Okay.
They are, yeah. All the blue lines are the known ley lines, and you might have noticed that you have got 150 experience is because every ley line you find gives you 30 bonus experience points that I forgot to give you before.
Ah.
Yep.
You know, when you walk towards those blips on the mini-map and then they go a solid color and then you get XP. That's
Oh
happening.
yes. All right, let's do that. That sounds fine.
Alright then, you make a plan then, you hatch a plan. You go to the tower in Sock, or rather, Knick-Knack will fly the flying ship by himself, alone, over there, and everyone else will go to the tower to teleport to the tower in Sock and see how that goes. Now,
Now,
what was I
Later.
thinking? Yeah, as soon as you go to the workshop and say that you're taking the Wyrm for a flight, no one has any opposition. But it's almost like the mere thought of boarding the Wyrm to take it off for any kind of voyage summons Jurgenod and what's his face? Mr. Sternhell.
okay.
They're just there like, you're flying the ship again. Let me put some cargo in it.
You triggered him. Oh no.
Of course. And
We need to jump around those conversation triggers on the floor.
Yeah.
so I'll need two of you to give me a diplomacy check.
I'll do that. That's my thing.
My thing.
Plus 10. Let the secret or not.
Open.
It just directly relates to.
Oh god, that's bad.
Blackjack has more than one partner.
And I need someone else to also give me a diplomacy check.
Waldak?
I can give you a diplomacy check.
Oh, whoever wants to do it.
Secret?
Open.
Oh, open.
Yep.
How about
Yay.
a frickin' 24?
Wow, that's good.
No need to reroll. Yay.
Yeah, so I need both you, Lex and Wildak, to roll me a d10.
Oh, I guess open, right?
Yeah, open as well. So Lex, you get
Nice.
5 whole crates of regular specialties, and Wildak. Oh no, sorry. Lex, you get 4 crates of regular specialties, and Wildak, you get 5 crates of rare.
Specialties.
Rare.
Of
specialties.
rare.
Yep.
Bam.
In total now you have 14 copper worth of cargo per mile traveled. So, wherever you decide to land the ship and make the delivery, then we'll calculate the distance and see how much money you earn.
Nice.
By the way, I believe you can open up the Wyrm's character sheet.
Yep.
Yes.
It's there in cargo. You can see that there.
It is tiny.
It is the poor little thing.
And as a note for everyone, we need to be finished by the 12th because we've had that whole sort of warning. Don't be in Werewolf Town on the full moon.
The full moon week, yeah.
Could be fun. in a
Oh
weird way.
no, we got like Gundhr. How can we live with this new hot bodies?
For some people, that would be an upgrade.
Why do I feel they're talking about me?
Do you have any work experience at a Denny's?
I don't. I've never worked in fast food.
You will now. Bites you.
Well, actually, managing your cargo, you realize I have to leave one of the regular specialties behind because otherwise the ship would be too heavy to fly.
Oh, gotcha.
So you're actually only shipping 13 coppers worth of cargo per mile. So, yeah. Knick-Knack, you're going to fly to the tower near Sock, and everyone else is going to walk to the other tower.
Is it because Rusty is bigger now?
No, it's because the ship can't carry more than 180 bulk of cargo.
Ah, okay. Never mind.
And just the crates would be 180 bulk worth of cargo.
Yeah, it turns out there's a downside to
Big.
rolling well.
Yes.
Well, more or less, yeah. It's just that if depending on how much success you get on your diplomacy check, the worth of the cargo is better, so you get more copper per bulk. But worst case scenario, you still roll a d10 to see how much cargo you're shipping, and then you can mix and match. So I decided to discard the regular cargo instead of the rare cargo.
Yeah.
Because it's worth less. In any case, you're doing that. Plan, alright. Everyone gets off on their own places, and Knick-Knack, I'll need you to give me the piloting check skill roll to see by how much you whiff it by, I suppose.
Oh no!
Piloting.
There's a storm coming. I
Well-
can feel it in my bones.
That is the DC, so you make it.
Yay.
Phew.
Alright. So the worm takes off, and you can see clear confusion in Jurgonad's face when he see that 3 of you are staying behind.
We're doing some science. Don't mind us.
And
You know, we should take that one professor along with us as well.
which professor?
The
Pitacos. The centaur.
Yes, Pitacos.
To the tower?
Yeah, because I mean, we'll show him how it works.
Sure, if you want to. Easily enough, you find Professor Pitacos. He's awake and around and about. The centaur shows up, dressed impeccably well for a 7-day.
Yeah.
Hey, Professor, join the party. We're a shuttle member.
We think we figured out how to make the towers work and that there's teleportation.
Teleportation involved with the towers.
Power portation, if you will.
That's a lot to just open that with, but sure.
Well, color me surprised. I would very much like to see that in action then. Shall we be off?
Let's be off.
Alright. So, Knick-Knack, you are flying... Oh boy. Some 120 miles towards the tower. At a speed of... how far this thing flies again? 12 miles per hour, so...
Question, should we have maybe charged the ship before Knick-Knack left?
It was
So there's
The
not-
ship is
charged.
fully charged,
Okay.
so
Yeah. I mean. Okay. No mind then.
you can't fit any more in.
So, knick-knack, some 10 hours later, I thought the ship was slightly faster, but I might be misremembering things. Some 10 hours later, you are at the tower. Or rather, you'll be arriving at the tower. By yourself.
We
On the other hand, Lex, Vice, Wildak, and Professor Kieran Pitakos, all of you make the trek up the hill towards the tower. You get on a cart, and well,
Why do we need a cart?
because it's on the main road, they offer carts.
Oh, okay.
it's
got it.
faster.
Yeah, it's faster as well.
Yep.
You don't have to walk. More so, it's on the main road, and you're going with a professor of the academy, so a cart is provided.
Ooh.
Should bring more professors along. Damn.
Yep.
Free rides.
No wonder they keep giving you money to do class assignments. They're loaded, these professors.
I mean, it's our money anyway, so.
In a way.
Yeah.
Wow, how to spin that? So, some 5 hours later, it's about noon, and you all arrive at the tower near Mergen. Look at that, we have a token for the Wyrm and one for the party in the map at the same time.
I know.
How fancy.
Dun dun dun.
We get the quest updated. Wyrm and party active at the same time.
Professional.
It's not a
Why you
quest,
have two hands?
it's an achievement.
Achievement, excuse me.
So, you arrive at the tower, and you all disembark from the cart, and Professor Pitakos is just... he pulls out his notes pretty much, and he starts going through them, finding the notes regarding this tower here. And he also pulls out a writing instrument to start taking notes, and lets you go about your own way. And
Got it.
everything's there
Yeah,
as it
you
was
don't-
before.
You don't speak Draconic, do you?
Professor Pitakos looks up at you. Unfortunately, I do not.
Oh, well, we might have some trouble, but it'll be okay. If you see a large dragon, just ignore it.
A large dragon. To ignore it.
How would you say that?
You know where we're going.
Yes, to sock.
Just sock.
All right. Yeah, put our hands up on the fire bowl.
Professor Pitakos is very puzzled, but nonetheless he follows your lead. All of you put your hands on the edge of the pyre. It is burning, the fire is lit, and yet
Right.
no heat emanates from it. But you have known this before, you have.
Right.
You have experienced that lack of heat from this fire before. And once upon that, you...
And so I say, sock.
Alright?
Psych. My!
Wildak, you say the name of Sock. And you see, you close your eyes and in your mind, you kind of envision the tower that you've been to before, where you have met the Noodle Dragon, whose name I don't remember. It's somewhere in my notes. I'll find that eventually.
Yeah, it started with a V, I think. Viltrick or something like that.
Nonetheless...
Vanek.
Vanek, thank you very much. You
I take
visualize...
notes sometimes.
I too, but my notes are plenty.
Wouldn't it be nice if they were all in a wiki format?
Mm. I see what you did there, you think of the tower and you see it in your mind with absurd clarity even. And then you see that the fires at the pyre, they were just kind of flickering and burning like regular fires do. They now start to swirl, almost as if they're parting the ways, and the center of the pyre now, of the fires, kind of opens up a little space. Almost as if inviting you to step in.
Ooh, that looks lovely. Let's go.
And Professor Pitacos holds you by the shoulder and says, "Hold on, Wodak. Is this safe? Are you sure?"
Oh, I'm not sure about anything, but it should work.
I read it online.
Reddit would never lie.
I saw it in a YouTube video.
Preceded by, don't try this at home.
I skipped that part, okay.
Professor Pitacos is less than reassured by your words, but nonetheless, he feels responsible to guide these students in their endeavor, especially since he's the one who kind of set you on this matter altogether.
Suicide mission, yes.
So all of you step through the pyre then.
We do.
Into the pyre, rather. Alright.
Mhm.
So Lex, Vise, Wildak, you step into the pyre and you bring along Professor Pitacos. And once you do step into the fires, the flames, they kind of rise up and consume you. And you feel yourselves being engulfed in flames, and they kind of close all around you, and there's just a wall of fire through which you can't see anything. But you feel yourselves getting much lighter, and it's almost as if now you feel some kind of heat from what you imagine is the magic flames. And you can almost feel like this heat is melting you. You almost feel yourself just kind of becoming liquid and falling apart. And just as you feel like you're going to cease to exist and become puddle, you feel yourself kind of being shot into some distant location. And
Reject humanity, become puddle.
you pretty much can almost feel your essence, your bodies, your souls, your minds being shot through the ley lines. And you can't really see anything whilst this is going on, but you can feel like there's a lot of pressure being applied to you. Some kind of resistance, but also some kind of swirling of winds and heat of flames behind you and ahead of you. And boom, you're shot to another tower. Since you have pinged through true places of power, true nexus, leyline nexus, I need all of you, except for Knick-Knack, alas, to give me a saving throw. 2 saving throws even.
Oh no, versus fortitude.
And will.
And will.
Secret or nah?
Do I want to hero any of those?
Up to you, really.
Is it blind or public?
It's public.
Public.
I pressed it and it said blind. So
Yeah,
I made
same to me.
blind. I don't know what I rolled.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it did a question mark.
Sorry, this all should have been open. But all of you succeeded your 42 saving throws. Wonderful,
Alright.
even. And
Ooh.
Will Deck just need to roll your will saving throw.
There's my will saving throw.
Oh, would you look at that?
Will.
All of you passed every single saving throw.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Super huzzah. Amazing.
But the professor's dead. Oh no.
Yeah, did he make it?
I don't have a character sheet for him, so... Sure, alright, I'll roll. Will save. For him. Rather, fortitude first. Let's say it gets a +4 to that.
Oh no!
I was joking, don't kill him.
And he gets a +4 as well to his will save.
Wah, wah, wah.
He super stacks his saving throws. All of you arrive. You feel yourselves kind of recomposing perfectly, and then the flames part, and you recognize that you're in a different tower. The atmosphere, the air, everything feels different. The smells are more, what's the word? They smell woodier. You can smell that you're very close to a forest, and indeed you are.
Right.
Instead of the smell of water close to the other tower that you were to. That's right by a river. You step out of the flames and out of the pyre easily enough. And once all of you step out, you realize, oh, we're elsewhere now. But when Professor Pitacos steps out, you can see that he's looking incredibly, horribly bad. He's almost heaving and throwing up. You can see that whatever happened with this teleportation thing did not work all that well for him, and something went awry.
Oh no, he's come through a mutated monster. He has 4 legs.
And cancer.
Oh,
He physically looks okay. He starts immediately just kind of shuddering and complaining about all kinds of headaches. But he seems to be there. His team still seems to be himself. You imagine, you're not entirely sure because you can't feel this for yourselves, but you imagine there's been some manner of feedback between stepping into the flames, being turned into magical matter and transported elsewhere, and then reassembled into your material physical forms. All in one.
Mondays.
all
Am
in
I
one
right?
it's a good thing. It's a good thing souls exist, because otherwise you would have killed yourself, and you're now clones.
Indeed.
So, Professor Pitacos is just kind of leans against the wall and starts just.
Are you okay, sir?
That was less than pleasant. I'll concede.
Just glad you're alive.
Yeah, I didn't have any bad effects. I mean, it seemed to be okay.
You didn't roll
That
a
whole
one.
sort of swirling through, that got me a little dizzy, but that was it.
Bit of jet lag, yes.
You see that he tries to look at you, he opens his eyes, but then he winces and immediately closes them back up again. And
He's about
Maybe you put that down, sir.
he is about to lose his taco since he's going to be just a pea. Wait.
he is absolutely not doing well. But you're not entirely sure what the side effects of traveling through the towers is. You can just see that he's absolutely not doing well. But that's as far as it goes. Although, I suppose, Wildak, you are trained in medicine. You can make a medicine check to try and figure out what the shit's up
Well,
with him.
Not only that, but I have a new feat.
A
Oh.
new feat?
It is. It's called Treat Condition.
Oh my
And
god.
if he's been sickened, then maybe I can remove it.
First make a medicine check to see if you can
Medicine check.
figure out what the hell's up with him.
12?
No, that's not gonna do it.
Well, let's use some halfling luck.
Of course you would. Go for it.
Good lord, this game hates me.
Mm.
I'm afraid a 12 would not do it.
Sorry.
Sure.
They say
I can't seem to find anything wrong with you, Professor Patako.
Oh, don't worry, but I assure you there is definitely something wrong with me. And
relatable.
he seems to take a moment to try and think what exactly he's feeling. And he picks up his notes, his notepad, and starts writing down and speaking up loud what he's feeling. I'm feeling nauseous, a horrible headache. I feel my body weak, almost as if I'm sick. Almost as if I have a fever, or I'm not entirely sure. I just feel horrible.
Can I try to remove the sickened condition from him?
You don't know what he has as
Got
a
it.
condition, unfortunately.
Yep.
Nonetheless, I kind of let him rest for a little while, and you walk outside. Just to double check that you are in the place where you think you are, and indeed, you are where you think you are. You're in a tower, next to a forest, and some 15-20 miles away from the city of Sak.
Got it.
And you look...
And
It worked.
do we see the dragon?
Not yet. You're not entirely sure where the
Okay.
dragon is. But you do look up and you see that the sun is still high up in the sky in the same position he was when you entered the tower back in Mergen.
Yeah.
So
So
that took
this
no
is
time.
really
That's good.
fast. Yeah. So I bet we even beat Nick Nack here.
Oh, you absolutely did. You see no signs of a flying ship anywhere. And
The wheels on the ship go round and round.
eventually, after some time, you do see the noodle dragon coming up and recognizes most of you. Seems to try to speak with you, but cannot speak your tongue, only Draconic. None of you can speak Draconic, I don't think.
Nope.
I cannot.
And none of you
Vance.
thought to prepare comprehend languages.
Well, I didn't think about it because I thought, somebody would be able to speak it.
Yes, the one in the airship.
Hmm.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Apparently Vice does speak Draconic now.
Did take it a
Uh,
bit, well, maybe.
I think he spoke it before. That's why that's who I actually thought was could speak it.
Not the kobold, clearly.
No. I thought Cobalt could do it as well, but I thought Knick-Knack, and I thought that Vice could speak it as well because he read a letter that was.
I
in
think that
Draconic.
was in Sylvan or Druidic or something.
Ah.
Because I
Yeah.
couldn't understand it.
Undercommon.
Or Undercommon.
And
And
Vice
Weiss
can
had stepped
translate.
away.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm back.
welcome back.
Ah.
Vice, you have all been teleported to the tower in Sak. The Venik, the noodle dragon,
My-
shows up, and you're the only one who can understand what he's saying.
What he's saying?
Well, he's pretty much just asking in surprise, like, what the shit? Where did you come from? Where's the flying ship? I did not hear it approaching.
Yes. You see, you can use when you press M button, the map opens, and when you left click on a discover tower, you can there will be a prompt that says, "Do you want to fast travel?" And you click yes, this happens.
And he nods in understanding. I understand. It would seem indeed that there is a lot of high arcane knowledge is going on at that academy of yours. Talon made a good decision to go. And he just nods in agreement. Lex and Wildak, you don't understand anything that they're saying, but the friendly tones remain all throughout the conversation.
I'm going to
Meanwhile-
try to cast a spell on the professor. It's the only spell that I know that has the ability to reduce some conditions, and I'm going to cast Restoration on him.
Sure. Are you reducing one effect by 2 or 2 effects by 1?
2 effects by 1.
All right. You cast that, and you can see that Professor Pitacos kind of shudders and shakes a little bit, and he looks up, opens up his eyes, looks at you, and immediately goes, "Wow,
You feel any better?
I do feel much better."
All right. So this must do something that is making you either sick or somehow enfeebled. I used the restorative magic that they taught us in temple on this.
He nods knowingly. Well, I'm not entirely sure what magic you have used, but certainly has helped. If any of you feel victim to this condition in the future, that will be handy to have.
Yes.
And he starts writing down some things, and then he tries to walk out the tower to see where he is at, indeed. And you can see that he's still, like, shaking a little bit, and his footing is kind of unsure. He still has some lingering condition going on, but overall he's better than he was doing before.
Well, I'll help you out while they finish talking with the dragon back there.
Meanwhile, Knickknack's really hoping this whole teleportation thing works, otherwise he's flying to no one.
Yep. So, you guys have some 5 hours to spend, to kill, pretty much, while Knickknack has to arrive where you are. So, Lex, Vise, and Wildag, do you have got any downtime activities to do in the middle of nowhere with no prior preparation?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Alright. Well, I'll say then that you can, all 3 of you get another roll at research. You pick up your Oni books and read up on them.
All right.
That's good.
You have a shitload of time to be reading. You, Knickknack, not so much. Have a pilot to a ship to pilot.
Then I grabbed the wrong book when I was in Hyori. I get one of those from that section.
Oh no. You brought
Who want to
Smart
swap? Who want to swap?
Studying or smart?
Smuddying.
So...
Sorry, what role do you need again? Society or...
I'm trying to
Or religion.
find that out. It wasn't... was it? I think society or
It
religion.
was religion and society, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
or.
I guess I'll do society. Yes.
Alright.
I'm much
smart
better
is a
at it.
proficiency. So yeah.
Rolling Sasibaka.
Alright.
It's a type of low roll.
So...
Yes.
all of you decide to sit down and try and read more about the books, but you cannot get any research done once Vise reveals that the book that he picked up apparently is not a research book on Onis, but instead more smut material.
Yeah.
You find
Damn.
a book that is called Demon Layer.
Other brilliant.
And apparently the subtitle for this one is
How
Linus,
deep does this hole go?
Linus and the Red Demon, and there's a big Oni on the cover. And then you're like, oh, clearly it's a book on Onis.
Oh my god, it's guy who gives the sex tips.
So, like it or not, once that book's existence is revealed, you just cannot not think about it. And like it or not,
Would Do you think if he shows us books, Oni will take psychic damage?
Who knows?
Oh, God.
It's certainly worth a try. Regardless, no research happens, mostly also because all of you failed and Vice, you critically failed the roll.
Oh no.
So
I
no,
mean, yeah, of course it did.
to your surprise, also, Demon Layer, Linus and the Red Demon, is not, as it happens, a book with prose and text, but rather some kind of sequential art comic book. But it's read from the beginning, or rather in reversed order. You start at the end and then read from right to left. It's weird, but you try to figure it out. And by the time you're kind of getting in on the story and whatnot, you hear this very loud, kind of whooshing noise from afar. And then when you look up, along with the sunset, you see something big coming into the distance. And then you recognize it's the Wyrm. It's flying.
Yeah, Knickknack's here.
Huzzah.
Some 5 hours later,
Yay.
Knickknack has arrived.
Choo-choo.
And he lands the ship.
Really hoping that people are here, otherwise he's been very bored for nothing.
We're here.
Knickknack, you land the ship. It's kind of hard to do with no crew to tell you if you're landing correctly or not. And once you do land, you pretty much have to make sure that the ship doesn't tilt in any which way. You have to keep it running, so to speak, as you quickly go and throw a rope ladder over the edge, so your crew can go up and take out the landing gear, so to speak, the anchors. And then, finally, all 4 of you are reunited.
Yeah.
And
Well, that was
Knickknack,
boring.
you're kind of also surprised to see that Professor Pitacos is also there. You didn't see that coming. But also,
You'll never see it.
but also, Professor Pitacos is looking incredibly bad, or worse for wear.
I take it that was the side effects he mentioned.
Yeah, it was it seems that if you go through, you kind of get melted down into this sort of magic goo and then shot through the air from the tower to the other tower. And sometimes that seems to do bad things, but restoration seems to be the correct spell.
We should
Well,
call
that's
it
existentially
our leg.
horrifying.
I thought it was pretty fun.
Professor Pitacos kind of just shakes his head like, oh, I disagree. It wasn't particularly fun, but there is merit to this discovery. Who would have thought that these towers allows you to teleport between themselves? I imagine that this is why they have to be lit up, I suppose.
That's what I'm imagining. By finding this out, it's going to make travel a lot easier, especially to places that are close to cities. We might be able to send more products through that way. I don't know if products will go through, but maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could fast travel an entire airship through so we could take a shortcut.
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but this is definitely a heaven sent. It will help.
Yeah, you can write a white paper on this, and you could probably get, extra tenure and stuff. Tell the dean that you need more money for research.
I suppose that the research we'll be needing is to find out more towers and, well, figure out what's up with them.
Oh, I just
Yep.
realized the Kerstenbaums are not gonna be happy with that, with
Oh.
the monopoly on transportation.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
I mean, do we even care?
Only
Let's see.
insofar as that they might do something.
Yeah, yes,
True.
in that
Um,
sense, yes.
But by
Might
the
blow
looks
up
of
the
you, I
towers.
presume you're going to want to go home the long way.
Well,
And we might have to wait and pick him up here coming back.
I'm no stranger to walking through the feuds. I imagine I could find my way at least to the city of Sak and then see what I do from there. Besides, it's been a while since I've been on my own, walking into these inner cities, so maybe I'll take that as an opportunity.
Well, I don't want to do something that's going to get you killed. We've already lost a pilot twice.
Oh, don't you worry, I'm imagining that your friend here, and he kind of points over at Venik, will help me in this regard.
Oh yeah, he seems to be a very friendly sort.
He stops to think for a moment, but he can't seem to remember anything. Do you remember? Wodak, you're a cleric of Pasperon.
I am.
Do you remember if there is a statue of Pasperon in the city of Sak?
As the player, don't remember. I know there's one in Mergen.
You do not remember there being one in Sak.
I don't remember one being in Sock, but everything was really hasty and there was a lot of running around and stuff there, and then the Oni and everything else.
I suppose it is the long way for me then. If only there was a statue of Pasperon there, I could teleport that way instead, but walking it shall be.
Wait a minute. I didn't know those statues teleported.
Yeah, that's a new one for me too.
I think we've been informed that you can pay them money and they teleport you.
Huh.
Yes, there is a lot
Yeah.
of ifs and howevers. You have to be in the goddess's good graces and also make a hefty donation to it.
Got it.
And
Oh my.
then you'll be teleported, but it's not as widely accessible as other means.
Like nausea towers.
Like Nausea Towers,
Nausea
yes.
Towers.
Or spaghettification towers, more accurately.
Spaghettification.
Well, that's Breath of the Wild's teleportation, really.
Yeah.
But yes,
Okay.
Wildak, you have some passing knowledge that every major city or cities on major roads have a statue of Pasperon in most of Hosenfell. Some places don't, but those heretics don't deserve Pasperon to begin with. Most places have a statue of Pasperon, and if you are a good aligned creature or a worshipper of Pasperon, you can make a donation at this statue and get teleported to another statue of Pasperon.
Gotcha.
However, sometimes it can be kind of cost prohibitive, especially if you want to go far away. And you were never wealthy to begin with, despite your job.
That's for sure.
So you
Don't
never
have to rub it in.
So you never got to test that the teleporting through the statue of Pasperon by yourself to such a degree that you even forgot that that was a thing. But clearly you can see why the likes of Kestenbone have a monopoly on other types of teleportation, because unlike with the statues of Pasperon, you don't have to be a good aligned creature to use the cast and balance teleportation circles.
I wonder why they had that restriction lifted.
Hmm.
Go figure.
Cause they evil.
It's
Or
such a
you'll-
shame that once the new rewrite of Pathfinder is released, that none of these statues will work anymore.
Yep. They'll just serve as plot hooks, and that's it.
Alignment? What's that?
Regardless, all of you gather up back at the tower, then board the ship, and you are ready to continue on your journey should you wish to do that.
Yes, let us continue on our journey.
To the pilot rescue.
No, to the Mount Tower in order to light it and then go through.
There's a little however, though. You cannot fly another 10 hours in the ship because you need to sleep and you do not have another pilot to relieve you.
Ah, that's true.
We're working on a second
I can
pilot.
try. I can try. I'm trying.
I don't think we should crash.
Yeah, let's not.
I can try.
You shouldn't try.
I
We only have
will.
one worm.
Hey, hold on. I need sleep as well. That's not how it works.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let's charge. I want to try to charge the ship before we go to sleep, so at least we'll have some charges in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
The charging regularly with spells and not trying to use
Correct.
the souls. All right, fair enough.
No. Yeah. Use the regular way that I know.
The God-given way.
All right. So the ship's currently at 150 charges. It has depleted by half flying there.
Yep.
So, all of the secondary casters give me a spellcasting check. Or magic tradition check, DC 14. That will be Arcana,
Nick-
Religion, Occultism, or Nature.
Knick-Knack's going to observe the process again for science.
Sure.
For science.
Nature, Arcana, or?
Occultism or Religion for
Your-
Lex and Wise.
Your spellcasting tradition, basically.
Okay.
19 for
Oh.
Lex.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Vice?
I think he is occupied for the moment.
Here.
So, okay.
Charging the boat.
Yep. Hold on. Roll.
Ooh.
That's the one.
That is a one. That is going to hinder Wood Axe attempt.
Hero point.
Alright, that will hinder him less.
No.
Yes.
So, Woodak, you make your test with a -2 penalty.
-2 penalty.
DC should be the same. Should be 16. Yeah. I think it has always been 16.
All right, here we go. I will use a hero point on that.
Please do.
No! First ship.
We're not doing nothing tonight, boys.
So, there's 3 peoples there, so 6 plus 5, that's 11. So the ship loses 11 charges, and all of you who were present for that also take 11 points of force damage.
Oh god.
Yeah, I was going to say, you sure you want to keep it on a critical fail?
He can't do anything about that.
I can't do anything about that.
It's like putting your pump on your tire and it just, I don't know, backfires somehow.
Called overinflating the tire.
Yeah, it blew. So, but you do spend spell slots nonetheless. Regardless,
Yeah, I did.
you do think the ship has enough charges to get there, to the tower at least, in Mount Scharhofen, but
Oh yeah.
that's pretty much about it.
Yeah, I remember because we had to charge it around there to take it into stall, and we ran in on fumes.
However, this is also a prime opportunity. The least the ship is charged, the more opportunities you have to test out how much it charges when using souls, should you ever want to. Nonetheless, you decide then to go to bed.
Yep.
What is the price of a human soul? 5
One
miles to the
sleep.
gallon.
Alright, so everyone can go ahead and rest to restore your spell slots and whatnot. So click the delicious rest button.
Yeah.
Yep. Long rest.
Ouch!
You take the damage.
You need to rest to Wildak.
Yeah, it wasn't letting me. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Huh.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Wow, you restored all of your hit points?
Yeah.
Wow, you got a shitload of constitution. Good for you.
Yes, I do.
Alright. So, you're more or less on better shape now. It's early in the morning. You get up immediately to resume your voyage. All of you get aboard the ship and depart, I imagine, to as far as you can go with what you have in the ship.
Should we not charge before we leave? Or
You can charge on the way.
alright, yeah, true. Let's do that.
Alright. So you depart. With the amount of fuel your ship has, you probably will just be able to make about where the tower is before you're forced to land. With the ship having next to no charges left.
Well, I guess that works out perfectly with our other plan.
Also because I don't want to do too heavy calculations right now. So about 2 in the afternoon, you arrive there at that other tower in between the peaks of Mount Scharhofen. The ship is pretty much depleted of charges as it stands and full of cargo in it. But lo and behold, you managed to land. It was kind of a tricky landing, but you managed to find a place next to this tower that, for some ungodly reason, was built in the least accessible place ever.
Or
Probably
flown
didn't
there.
plan for.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't here.
Maybe it too ran out of power.
That
Titan
Dude, where's my
Titan-
tower?
Titan souls don't go as far as they used to.
Back in my day.
that can be a very accurate statement. With the knowledge that you have, it is very possible that this tower was actually built elsewhere and then flown here, and it landed here because whoever made this tower fly last had no use for it afterward. So, you land the ship, and there's a tower in front of you. What do?
Guess charging the ship. But
Well, that depends
Yep,
on whether or
charging
not
it is the
we
thing.
want to go spelunking across the mountain to hunt for the Oni's lair, or if we want to fly there. And if we want spell slots.
yeah, that's fair.
And also, if
I
you're
mean,
going
I think-
to... Technically, you can see, even from without, there's no light shining from this tower whatsoever.
Well, let's go light this thing.
Yeah, let's walk up to it and press E. Or
F
F
for
if you're...
fire. P, I guess. Fire.
It depends on your the default control scheme layout.
True.
Some things do F for some reason.
Or we. But
When
yes,
everyone knows that F stands for flashlight.
F is for flash, but let's not get into that. To the tower.
We enter the tower.
I think Doug has stepped away.
I mean,
I
worst case
am-
scenario, we can
Let's
leave
take
the
control.
worm here, go back, rest, come back here, charge up the worm.
Hmm. Oh, Doug. Hi, welcome back. You missed it. You solved the problem.
You did not. I was typing some things out here.
You were gone for so long.
No,
Yeah,
I was
the
listening.
The ship is charged and everything.
Mhm. So you go into the tower. The door is there. You easily open the tower, and you see that some kind of barrier has been erected around the pyre.
A barrier.
Yeah, it seems to be just a few standing planks of wood, some tree planks of wood making like a triangle formation around the tower, and clearly there is some kind of enchantment because these planks of wood, connecting them is a barrier of magic energy that allows you
That
to
was fire.
allows you to see through it, and you can see the pyre is there, but well, there's some kind of barrier in the way.
Well, maybe we can just like pull the boards out of the way.
How?
Is it like
Didn't you say you had a magic hand that could go out there and like pull
Never
it away?
said such.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry.
There
Is
is
it
a
like-
prestidigitation that can move stuff of small
Well,
bulk
here,
of
I'll
one.
just pick up a rock and throw at it.
A small
Is
bulk
it-
of one, but I don't have it prepared.
The rock,
a barrier made of nails and stuff, or is it just wood stacked onto each other?
it's like a nail plank, or a plank of wood nailed to the ground, or not necessarily nailed, but like dug into the ground.
Ah,
Dug into the ground. Wow.
You imagine that's part of whatever enchantment is holding the thing in place, and when you huck a rock at the barrier, the rock gets reflected, but not just, it just doesn't bounces off, it gets repulsed and zapped.
Oh wow.
oh no.
You
And
imagine.
zapped.
And zapped,
So
yeah.
there was like electricity.
Yep. And once the rock lands on the ground, on the floor of the tower, you can see that it's smoking ever so slightly.
All right. I'm going to try to dispel it.
You unravel the magic behind the spell or effect, attempt a counteract check against the target. If you successfully counteract the magic from the magic item, the item becomes
Before he does that, can I recognize spell?
before you do even anything, you can just see that these planks, upon closer inspection, at the top they're connected by chains.
Oh, chains. Okay, so we could just like pull the chains off.
Not quite. There's padlocks amongst
Okay, I can
along each
disassemble
chain.
the padlocks then.
Well, that's the thing. It does seems also to be a magical padlock.
Yeah, don't get
Ugh.
fried.
I think we should just dispel that, and then maybe you can take the padlock apart. Then
You can just try to shoot the padlock. Maybe we don't need to dispel it.
I would like to know exactly what the hell this is.
And also, there's an inscription at each plank.
Ah,
Reading?
oh,
So,
that's helpful.
Oh, it's not a spell, it's a puzzle.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was my assumption.
when you examine the padlock, it seems to be some kind of magical padlock. There does not seem to be a slot for a key or anything, but instead there does seems to be a cylinder that you can roll to put in numbers, and a six-digit number will unlock this padlock, allowing you to take down the chains and whatever
Okay,
spell.
time to brute force this. 1 million combinations to go.
Easy, quick.
And the inscription reads, "The conquest left many dead, but saved the community. Those days will forever be remembered."
So it's a year.
all right. So it's
and-
the days. Yeah. So it's the days.
Mm. Try for 2069.
That's
I know.
one digit too
It's
short.
not even 6 digits yet.
Well, was there any sort of battle or something that was around here? I mean, here's my chance for my knowledge lore.
Sure, make a Sofak lore check.
So fucking lore.
This should be hidden.
Secret?
Yeah, secret.
Okay, hidden. And I didn't add my nerd bonus to that if I get nerd bonus.
No, you don't.
Okay.
You try to think. Most fights that ever broke out in the kingdom of Sofak were with the kingdoms of Kyria and Mythos forever ago, like centuries ago. And you know you're ridiculously far away from the borders of Mythos and Kyria.
Yeah.
So you can't quite see any connection.
All right.
You're not entirely sure there has ever been any battles fought here at Mount Scharhofen.
Is it from where the tower originally was before it got dumped here, like a e-scooter on the sidewalk?
Could be.
Well, I imagine the puzzle would need to be out of place for them to move the tower.
You
Um,
don't know of any ley lines that go across the borders from which this tower could have traveled from.
Is there any sort of like rhyme or song about the conquest?
Give me a secret religion check to recall knowledge.
Religion check. Did I get nerd bonus?
No.
All right.
Wildak. You think through it, and conquest, death, and community are religious domains of some of the gods, the deities of Gundhr.
Ah,
And immediately recognize, oh yes, community, of course, Pasperon.
indeed.
Of course.
The dead would be Igglebeth. I'm not sure who Conquest is, though.
You don't have to think too much about it. Clearly, It's Yabarag, the goddess of war.
Yabarog. Yeah, okay.
Yes, Barak.
So maybe this rhyme or this poem, this little thing, is referring to the Almighties in some way, shape, or form.
Indeed, and I'm trying to look and see if I've got a journal that shows how many Almighties there are before I pop up the wiki.
There are
There's the deities of Gundhr
Cheating.
in the suitcase.
yes. There's Fenfegor, the god of knowledge, Gafadur, the goddess of the hunt, Hakapfagan, the goddess of fates, Eaglebeth, the god of death, Irgdebram, the god of the ephemeral, Pasbron, the goddess of community, and Yabarag, the goddess of community.
Which are 8 if you include Cosme.
Mm-hmm. If you do include Cosme, the primal god, there is 8 deities in Gundhr.
But
Well,
we
see if we
need
can
6
set this thing to 8.
But there are 6 digits. How are we going to set 6 digits to 8?
0000008. I don't know. Does it have zeros? I guess, right? 0
Hold
to
on,
9.
hold on.
Is the dials, are they digits or are they letters?
Weirdly enough, they have both numbers, letters, goes from A to Z, and some symbols as well.
How big is that roll thing you're rolling to get to the letter you want? Jesus.
That's the thing, it's magical. Whenever you start spinning it, it looks incredibly small, but as you keep spinning, it keeps just revealing more and more symbols. You can
Got touch bits, got it.
You can spin through it rather fast and get to the symbol you want, but there's way
Does it
more
have
combinations.
Does it have the god symbols in it?
Those are not the symbols there.
All right.
Those are not the symbols you're looking for. Where you stand.
I'm not sure. I can get it that far, Knick-Knack, but I don't know how we would get the Almighties somehow into these symbols that were here. If there's not a symbol for their godliness, and there's just numbers and letters.
We could use the first letter of their names.
But there's only 6 entries, and there's more. There's at least 7 of them, plus 8 if you count Cosme.
So 3 of them are listed.
You can make a society check to try and...
Everybody? Yes.
Everyone who wants to get a clue at this.
Let's go. I should have been secret, right?
Yep.
Ideally, yes.
My bad, my bad.
Every time I forget what button is skills.
Yep.
Same.
One day.
Yeah.
Why can't they have words?
Words
Because
is a thing of the
words need
past.
to be translated in different languages. You can just use pictures.
So,
yeah.
Knick-Knack, you think through it. Those days will forever be remembered. And you think...
Oh,
maybe
there are
has something...
holidays relating to those gods in order.
Makes sense, actually.
And just as you say that, Vice, you have not only the same idea, but you already have your hands at the dials turning towards the specific dates. You're just... you just quickly ask Wildak, which are those dates?
The byte of 87.
What?
The what?
We're not doing FNAF lore, thank you very much.
Cry William Afton.
In other words, Vice, you thankfully rolled a critical success and you quickly think, we have to put in the day in which Yabarag is celebrated, then the day in which Yigobeth is celebrated, and lastly the day in which Paspron is celebrated.
That I know. And I tell him.
Fantasy Christmas.
I don't pick on gods. I sadly do not know that.
And as you are just fiddling with the tumblers of the padlock, Wildak just goes and tells you that clearly Yabarag is celebrated on the 22nd of Yabar, Eaglebeth is celebrated on the 13th of Eagle, and Paspron is celebrated on the 15th of Pasper.
Oh my god.
So you put down 22, 13, 15, and you try to activate the padlock. And lo and behold, it does activate. You disable the padlock. Whatever enchantment was upon it, it's seems to be a powerful enough enchantment that the padlock itself just disintegrates into dust, as does the chains. And
Oh wow.
the planks that seem to be buried into the ground, they just kind of get spat out from the ground itself, and the barrier just dissipates completely. And the pyre is there,
Nice.
completely unblocked.
Well, there we go. We've even got kindling to start this thing.
Yay! Experience, please.
For solving
We
a
get
puzzle.
I mean, yeah, right?
The real treasure was the fast travel point you unlocked along the way.
Oh.
That's it.
Why would anybody do that in the first place? Just,
Well, that's a good question. I mean, they must have done it for a reason. And I mean, looking around, it doesn't look like anybody's been in here in a long time. Yes.
But
Yeah.
it just dropped the drivable tower and left the steering wheel lock. Like,
Yep. One thing you have been told is that the towers, they can only fly if the pyre is disabled,
what?
Ah.
or rather, if the fire is not lit.
But yeah, that makes some sense. Imagine somebody using the tower while you're flying. It's almost like, oh, where did you came from?
So who
Yep,
knows?
it turns out that the closest tower to Stow changed halfway through and you've been split in two. Whoops.
Also, if you say the name of the tower, is it the current location, or how does it work if the tower is no longer there when you teleport where it originally was? So how does the name thing work then?
I think it's more the concept of the place that you're going to. The name is just the anchor in your language.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. The deal is that if you do know the tower, if you have personally been there, you can just picture that tower. Instead of, relying exclusively on the name.
Got it.
So, you have, I imagine, threw some kindling and some fire there and got the magical fire going on. Because immediately,
Yep.
That is correct.
once the pyre is lit, the fires within immediately turn magical. It ceases to emanate heat and to burn upon touch.
We don't have to use it to be able to use it in the future, right? It's just enough we unlocked it and saw it.
Yeah, it just needs to be lit.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't even need to have
otherwise-
gone there before, technically.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
otherwise we wouldn't have been able to go to the sock tower.
Fair point. My brain is
It's wrapping around this new concept.
Or tired, but yes, both. Well, okay. What's the plan now?
Well,
I mean, I
that's
know
the
we want a pilot at some point, but
well, that's the thing.
Well,
If we want
we've
to
got to
fly
recharge.
anywhere, we need to expend spell slots. But if we want to fight the Oni, we probably want spell slots.
Well, we probably won't spell slots, but we should have enough fuel in the gas tank to get us at least out of Dodge here.
yeah, if something stupid happens.
I guess.
I mean, we can just fuel it and go to sleep. I don't know. How long?
It's
Are we
just
assuming the
fuel
whole
it
pilot
and
survival is
go from
time
there.
sensitive? I don't know.
a little. We don't know. We suspect that the pilot might live indefinitely because the Oni might find a use for them, but we're not sure if the Oni will move.
Yeah, that's just an assumption on our part. We can go. Well, that's bad.
Well, I'm going to try to charge it.
All right. Get me those rolls going again.
Stupid question, but we can only teleport stuff that fits inside the pyre, right? We can somehow, somewhere, transport the worm through the pyre by, I don't know,
I've
increasing
been-
the pyre or something.
I've been wondering if we can just get really fucky with it, but I doubt that's allowed.
Yeah.
Well,
Make
we
a
can
big
try
pile.
later.
From what you have gathered, you have to get into the pyre. And there's only a limited area that the pyre covers. And of things you can fit into it. You do
Can we
know...
make
Yeah,
the worm?
No
Very
linking hands
small.
until we reach the worm and we all get sucked in at once.
You do know for a fact you have been transported along with all of your things. So
Right.
you do know that it can teleport things, but you don't know the limits of that.
Would be really odd if you came out the other side naked.
I mean,
I'm not wearing
you
much anyway, but yes, I guess.
You could try teleporting with one of those planks and see if they get shredded.
Well,
Partially.
we burnt the planks. So what do you think the kindling was?
Oh, right.
In
Yeah.
short, you're pretty certain that no, you could not teleport the flying ship
Oh.
through the towers.
Yeah.
But we might be able to carry a crate through.
Yes.
Just toss the crate into the fire, yelling a place's name, and it flies out on the other end.
I feel like a mailman at this point, like, fuck it.
Ah, yes, that's how we
Amazon
make
shipping
money.
fulfillment center.
Fire X.
So, Wildak, you're charging the ship.
Waiting for the secondary rolls.
I thought we're saving the spell slots for the pilot, and then, but both situations aren't great.
Yeah.
Well-
I'm just going to have enough gas in the tank.
Thing is,
I-
the ship is completely depleted. You would need to... In theory, you would need to spend at least some 2 or 3 days to fully charge the ship if you want just enough to get somewhere to the place, and then
Right.
just how... you would need some 2, perhaps 3 days worth of charge, which is not going to be enough to fully charge the ship, but is enough to fly it somewhere. You can also use the soul to charge it, or you can ditch the ship altogether, go by foot, or teleport around now that you know you can use the towers to do that. Or,
Academy's not gonna be happy if we just leave it somewhere between two mountains, but yes.
or lastly, you can also use the soul to make the tower fly around.
That's still a ship not flown around, but yes, okay.
You have options, is what I'm saying.
No, yeah. Well, since the main guy we're concerned with is also able to fly, I don't think there's much of a point of pre-charging the ship. I'd rather just keep the slots to, fight in case it happens. But since the Oni can be invisible and fly and shit.
Well, I think that we should have some charge in it. And if nobody else is going to try. All right, Doug, let's do this.
I'm just saying we may need your heals. It's an level 8 Oni, just saying.
Okay.
Do you even have a soul on you?
Technically, the souls are like shared amongst all 4 of you because I don't want to keep track.
Yeah, before you just do that.
Because just to make matters simple. So the group as a whole has 15 souls left from the Titans you defeated and whatnot. And you're
Question.
using... Yes.
Oh, sorry, finish and then I'll ask.
The fueling the ship will cost 1 of those 15 souls you have remaining. Is that what you're doing, Wildak?
One of them, yeah, sure.
Alright. So you go and do that. You... Instead of casting the default ritual you have been accustomed to doing to charge the ship, instead you try to channel into these Titan souls that you have been acquiring over time. And you put your hands onto the arcane alternator and focus that soul in. And you can feel this warmth surging through you and siphoning itself through and into the ship. If one were to watch it with the UV goggles, it would be a quite delightful spectacle. But nay.
My eyes.
Yeah, don't do it. It's like, yes.
What happens instead is that the ship is charged for 250 cosmiums.
Holy smokes!
So now it previously was a 10 and now it's 260. Which
How
is
much is maximum again?
300.
Yep,
That's not
that's
on the
almost
sheet.
full.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We might just get back in time for class.
That's not my worry, but yes, okay.
He's fine with skipping, you see. Because
said
he's
I'm-
evil!
I said I'm lukewarm on the whole pilot saving situation, but okay, whatever. Twist my words, I guess.
I mean, I think we should get him back. I mean,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
knows what's happened to him, and we've already let him hang
We're
out for a
already out
week.
here, it's fine, let's go.
So you
Also, I'm not a fan of leaving that Oni running around.
Yeah, that's fair too.
also it's a Titan, it's 3 souls.
Just, yeah. Gotta spend souls to make souls, I guess, in this case, since...
See, you spend souls to level up, to be stronger, to get more souls.
Yeah. It's like Cookie Clicker, it's always the numbers just go up.
It's like Dark Souls.
Yes, thank you.
Soul clicker.
Soul Clicker.
There you go. So you're going to the place where you think the Oni is at now, right?
Correct.
Getting back
Yeah.
into the Wyrm, all 4 of you, and flying there. Good. All right.
Whoosh.
Swoosh you go.
Gadoosh.
Yeah. It's rather easy to pinpoint more or less where the location would be, because something you have been able to assume by now is that the places of powers, the Titan lairs, are in the intersections of ley lines. So, if you just find exactly the point at which the ley lines suddenly shift, it has got to be directly underneath there. Although you don't see anything there visually. But you do land the ship, get slightly closer, and then you do see a small little hole leading into a cave on the side of the mountain.
Oh Lord, that's where that thing is.
How
And
deep does
probably
that
our
Oni
pilot.
hole go? Oh no.
That is not within the purview of today's study.
So, the ship is landed, and what do?
Do you believe we go into the hole?
All right.
Jump head first
Inside the
inside
hole?
it. Yes, yes.
Looking in, you can see that the hole is rather dark on the inside.
I don't know what you mean. I have perfectly good dark vision.
You do. Your
Broadway
companions
has
don't.
it too. Broadway, what's down there? What do you see?
What do your statue eyes see?
What
Yes.
Broadway sees is their the the cave gets darker, but then it goes in, and even without sight, you can hear things coming from within, some grunts, and what appears to be some echoes of steps. Clearly, there's more than one person walking around in there. One
Uh-huh.
set of steps bangs the ground much louder than the other two sets of steps.
But we probably shouldn't throw stuff in there. Okay, got it.
No.
Do we see any ladder or steps that go down, or is it just abruptly hole?
Yeah, it's just a hole. You can just walk into it horizontally. Are you going in?
I mean,
That's where he is.
All right then.
oh, horizontally, not vertically. I was confused. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Like,
And I
it's
have
the
light
stone
on
for
my
me.
spear.
All right. So you walk into the cave, and once you do, you see on the far end of it some pepperinos in there.
Are we
Well,
sure about the light thing? Just
I am
asking.
sure about the light thing. I can't see.
Okay, all right, all right.
so Lex, you probably can't see. If you have Broadway's token selected, then you can see, yeah.
Nothing changed, honestly.
On my end, it does.
Good for you, I guess. Not for me.
I will do the light on myself as well before we enter because I forgot I have it on myself and now
Yeah,
I
you
do,
both had
and
it.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So you get in, and there seems to be creatures on the far end.
Why is the
You
last one a speech bubble, or has it a tail?
That's because it has a fancy icon that extends beyond the circle.
Oh, it's probably a
And
blade.
that is
Okay.
a curved sword. Curved sword
Oh, man.
from
and
Hammerfell.
immediately upon walking in, you see those who can see in the dark, namely Knick-Knack and Broadway.
Yes. Yes, dark vision.
You can see in the distance three creatures. You can see the Oni. It is there, looking menacingly, but in front of him you see Meldin, the pilot, and old Patrick, or Patrick as they call him. And immediately upon seeing you all come in, Meldin and Patrick, uh, they see that you are armed to the teeth, carrying your weapons drawn. Then they just hold up their hands and say, "Hold on, let's not do anything harsh. We're all friends
Fireball.
here." And Meldin also says, "Yeah, you don't need to get any aggressive with anyone here. This guy is really cool. He's just, showing us around, and we're fine, we're cool, we're safe. There's no need to get any kind of hostilities going on here." Clearly pointing at Dione, who's just behind them, looking menacingly at all of you.
I don't
I'm-
think they're in the right state of mind, but okay.
They've almost
Agreed.
certainly been charmed, so I'm not even going to bother arguing with them.
Yep. The missing southern accent gave it away, honestly.
Say what?
Our pilot lost his accent. We know he's charmed. It's okay.
Oh no.
That's how it works, right? Let's see. We could.
Dione doesn't even seems to do anything. He just looks at all of you and just growls. All of you again. You have come into
You-
my lair. How dare you?
You've kidnapped 2 people
Yeah.
and
attacked
taken their
us.
place in order to kidnap and sell a 3rd person.
That blizzardling was mine. You had no right
No,
to step into my business. And
not belong to anyone.
and the pilot just goes, "Okay, now hold on, just a wee moment there. We have not been kidnapped. He just, he's showing us his place. This looks
You can't
quite nice."
leave.
I mean, of
How long
course,
have you been here for?
a few days. I don't remember, but it's so nice in here.
Have you
Well,
eaten
you-
anything?
And you, old Patrick, how long have you been here for?
Old Patrick kind of tries to think and he says, "Well, I can't remember, but the company is nice. The place is fun, and
Fun? A cave? A dark cave?
yeah, we
I mean,
got
it's a bit homier than his house that's now covered in demonic scrolls on the floor.
That's true, but
Oh, no, it's not
Is there
demonic scrolls or anything. My friend here was just redecorating.
Uh-huh.
So if you're not kidnapped, you can just leave with us, right?
Yeah, but
Prove you're not under a spell.
why? We're just having fun.
Your
Why don't you?
friends from the city miss you. It's been so long. They think you're dead.
Also, we need a pilot back.
Well,
Don't you miss the Wyrm? It was cool to fly it, right?
well, I mean, it was very fun. I'm not going to lie about that, but you all seem very capable of handling yourselves. My friend here, he is not so.
Yeah, that
He
can
that
fly,
clearly tells me
he's
that something
fine.
is wrong.
Don't worry. And
That-
I know I'm
that
just
clearly
asking you.
tells me something is wrong. I guess we're doing things.
So what are you doing
Yeah.
exactly?
That's a good question.
Casting fairy fire?
All right, you're not particularly able to see, but you can hear very well where the noises are coming from, so you can target that area. All creatures in the
Yes,
area when
I'm-
you cast a spell are are limed. Limed?
Lined.
Limnite.
Lined.
Lined together,
So
yeah.
they
I think
so they
that's
so they
lined.
have that. It's like when you put the white around all the characters.
Yeah, it's just that I never saw the word before. Limed. In colorful,
Lined.
headless, heelless,
I think that's a typo.
heatless.
Heatless.
Fire of the color of your choice for the duration. Visible creatures
Green.
can't be concealed while affected by fairy fire. If the creature are invisible, they are concealed. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, they cannot be concealed unless he becomes invisible, and he can become invisible apparently.
Yeah, but not the other two. So I hope.
Yep.
We don't know.
All right, so they are.
Now we can see them.
You can see them.
Even if they go invisible, sort of.
Right.
Um,
Well, they're concealed rather than undetectable.
Is the plan to knock those two out and kill the Oni and take him back? I guess, right?
Or just ignore them. Yeah.
I have a feeling they're gonna fight us, but maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
I'm going to feed Rusty Alchemist's Fire.
all right. So, from what I'm reading about this spell, what I'm gathering is. Oh no! You just throw the effect there. Yeah, there. For the
Yep.
5
Yep.
minutes,
And-
they're gonna be affected. Gotcha.
And anyone inside of it at the start is affected.
Okay. Alright, so Wildak, you throw a spell in there. You throw Fairy Fire.
I do.
Dione clearly does not like that, but this time he does recognize that this fire does not burn. But it's
Wow.
enough to make him know that your intents are incredibly hostile to the point where you're not going to just let him go. Their combat is afoot, so I need everyone to
Yeah.
tell me whether or not you would like to roll for initiative and get this going, or leave this for next time, because it is 10 to 6.
I think next time would be a good place to pick up.
Probably.
I'm down with both, but whatever.
It's just that it's...
Fight! Kill!
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I
Blood for
guess
the
we're doing
gods.
that.
Alright.
Okay.
So,
I guess we're doing this then?
Yeah, I'm a bit confused too.
well, you're going to overtime then. I suppose we
That's
go
fine.
until the combat is
No,
over.
it's not overtime since it starts an hour later.
Well, it is.
Yeah, but
It is
Yes,
going
but
over
no.
But we
the.
usually stop. But right, we usually stop right now. So if you need to go to bed, now is the time.
now
I
is the
sta-
best time.
Nah, it starts later tomorrow. I still have like an hour
Alright.
before E.
All right.
Then. Let me roll some initiatives. And get the music going. Please, music.
Where's the good stuff?
Oh, the good stuff has just come out. Rolls
Patrick,
have
no.
been made. So. Patrick, he kind of tries to tell you guys, like, okay, now come on, let's not be hasty. Let's not fight anyone. We can talk this out. And he's not gonna do anything, but he's also gonna be in the way. Lex, what are you doing?
I'm charging my big laser, and
Oh no, you got a big laser to charge.
yes, it's. I first I'm gonna use the Act 2 as one, so I do 3 actions with legs and 1 with broad, so you can move, and I'm gonna charge for 2 rounds, I think. So, can I do it the same thing next round, where I do like 3 and 1? I think that's possible, right?
Yeah. Don't see why you can't.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna do it. And then move Broadway.
You can move him, right? Yeah, good.
Yeah, I just forgot the controls. It's been 2 weeks.
He has.
That's it, right? Do I have to do anything else now?
Yeah, you just have to.
I click the 2 round button. I think.
Yeah, you have to click the line, the 120 feet long line, and draw a line between you and where you want to affect.
Can I not charge fire and choose a target when I'm done? I think you said that last time.
It's
am I
also
crazy?
it's also been 2 weeks. I don't remember how the spell works.
Okay. I think they specifically asked, because it makes no sense if I just draw the line and wait 2 turns, somebody's gonna move out, right?
Yeah, I think we
Go, go,
decided you determine things when you release the spell.
I'm pretty sure.
All right. If the line passes through, blah blah blah. Yeah, I suppose you can choose to release it when it's cast.
Got it. Perfect. I'll do that, and I'm done.
Mm-hmm. You can avoid finishing the spell until another and spend. Okay, yeah. So next round you get to do that. Actually release the spell. So for now,
Yep.
we're just holding on, and pray to your lucky star that nobody gets between you and the Oni between now and your next turn.
Yeah, please move out of the way. Pro tip.
Pro tip.
Korean advice, yes.
Knick-knack, what do?
How high is the space?
High.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say 20 feet high.
That's enough space to jump over some people.
Yes.
So I'm going to have Rusty, along with myself, because I'm a madman, run 40 feet. Then I'm going to use, as soon as I open up the correct character sheet, then I'm going to use Explosive Leap to jump over Meldum and Patrick to get to the other side of the Oni.
Oh wow.
That's some animation.
Yep. And then I would like Rusty to use an attack to bite the Oni. So he's going to
All right.
make a
So before you do that, just
try.
one thing. First,
Mm-hmm.
Patrick is going to attack of opportunity your Rusty.
Okay.
Because screw that noise. Or at least
Fair.
it seems like something is controlling him. Surprise, surprise.
Oh no!
Shock it.
Forcing him to act against his will. Oh no, how could this have happened? So he's going to... I am going to first double check to make sure that Patrick is at the correct level. Oh, weirdly enough he is. What do you know? Okay, so the bonuses are correct. He's going to attack Rusty. I thought I did target. So 27 to hit Rusty.
His AC is less than that, so yes.
Alright.
Probably less than 27.
Rusty suffers 11 points of damage. And then you can carry on with what you were saying before.
11 points. Okay, let me just
Of
deal damage to
bludgeoning, I
him.
believe.
So yeah, he is going to make an attack against Mr. Oni. Oh,
Oh.
Neat.
so that is going to be a critical hit with an additional 2d4 fire damage. Actually, no, it's doubled fire damage, not 2d4.
Yeah, so 2.
So two fire damage.
Well,
38 damage.
what the shit? How is 36 the result of that roll?
Because I rolled 14. Plus 4 is 18,
Oh,
which
yeah,
doubled
yeah.
is 36.
You just rolled high, but it's like those numbers.
Terrifying, isn't it?
Yep. Oh wait.
It's not typed at the moment.
Ah, that's why. Okay, that's why. There you go. If I suffers another
Okay.
fire points from exploiting his weakness.
Okay, and then Knick-Knack is going to, even though this is not the most effective attack method right now, he is going to draw and throw an acid flask with the same action.
Because you
Thanks
can
to-
do that.
I have the feat for that, yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Critical
It's
miss.
almost a natural 20.
You have hero points, by the way.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Still
17.
miss somehow.
It misses, yeah.
Right. Well, I tried. Though,
You did good. It's fine.
yeah. I think it still takes 1 splash damage from that, though.
Alright. So, once splash damage coming up.
And that is all of my actions.
Alright, now it's the Oni.
I'm in danger!
Chuckles.
You are. He
Worth
is
it.
going to. Yeah, he's not going to regenerate hit points. Guess why?
Oh, yeah. I wonder. That actually reminds me, now that I think about it. I
It
also need
says
to...
here, it's deactivated by acid or fire.
Oh, spoilers. Wise. Hello.
So the Oni
That
is
was in
going
the book for some reason.
to move here actually.
Somebody's
Okay.
hiding behind his puppets. I'm gonna fire. Don't you think I'll not fire this laser?
Also, I just need to make this check quickly. Nope. Okay, I can't use that again.
Alright, I can't select Knick-Knack.
That's because Rusty is in the way.
Yeah, I'm going to move Rusty to the side real quick. Oh, that's why that doesn't work. I have to manually target now. Ugh. Okay. The Oni is going to move with 1 action, then use 2 actions to attack you, Knick-Knack. He sees that you're the one who's controlling the beast, the metal beast, and he's not down to clown with you. First roll is going to be a 21 to hit.
That
Which
hits.
does hit. And you're going to suffer this much damage.
Oof.
27.
Ow.
Woo!
That's the first
take
attack.
Damage.
As he swipes his magical falchion or whatever the hell that is at you. And then secondly he's going to attack again. Why not? But misses.
That misses.
Fortunately he comes a wee bit short.
I do an anime backflip dodge.
Of course you do. And that's his turn. That is his turn. Meldon is also going to stay there for some reason. Just be like, you know, guys, we don't really need to do these. Everything's gonna be just dandy if y'all stop all of this fighting and sit down and have a conversation. We can make some tea. Vice, it's your turn.
Yes, it is.
Why are you drawing the line from legs instead of yourself?
No, that's me. I'm drawing the line.
Okay.
To make sure that Knick-Knack is not gonna get hit by it.
Yeah.
Perfect. I see now. I cannot walk much, so I will chuck a produce flame at him.
Sure.
No dimensional leaps or whatever.
That's just a waste. I need to recharge my spell strike, you know. 15 does miss.
It will miss, yeah.
I will cry. That's all. That
What-
was 3 actions.
Want to hero point that?
Do I?
Up to you, really.
Yeah. Or maybe save it here. He's not.
I'll
regenerating.
save it for spell strike in case. Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. Wildeck.
Will Dak. Move to there. I look over and say, gosh, I wish I was closer to Knick Knack because I can't hit him from there.
Hit knick-knack or heal?
Heal.
I heard hit, but yeah.
Oh wait, I wouldn't be able to even cast Produce Flames to him because he's 35 feet away. Mhm.
Is he?
That explains why you missed. Oh.
Yep.
Ah,
There was a reason why I had to use my leap and a 40-foot move speed.
And so I throw out a spiritual weapon right beside the Oni.
Oh no, do I need to come up with a token for it?
You do, I'm sorry.
What is your spiritual weapon?
Use a toothpick.
I have this guard dog. That's going to do it.
There we go.
What is
Spiritual guard.
his spiritual weapon is a doggy.
Right. Now this does not give flanking in any sort.
Sure.
So make sure that it doesn't give flanking. And it's going to attack him.
Go for it. Target the Oni and make your attack. Now I see why I had a module for easy target.
Yeah.
Ooh,
21 hit.
yeah, deal damage.
Yeah.
Neat.
6 points.
6 points of damage to the Oni. Dosh.
And that's my turn.
That's your turn. Old Patrick is going to just pretty much shout to you all, no, don't do this. You're stop this fighting at once. And he is going to move. Well, yeah, here. Be at next to you, Vice. He's going to target you and try to hit you with his club twice. Of non-lethal damage, by the way.
That's nice of him.
But
I
he
believe that
misses.
misses.
He tries again.
That misses too.
His guard instincts are flaring up. Stop right there, criminal scum. Lex.
Well, time to unleash. So my question is, how wide, or is it just one line I draw? It doesn't say how.
If it doesn't
how many-
specify a width, it's
5
5
feet.
feet wide, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, you click the
Technic-
you click the 120, and then it'll show up a little template for you to put on the map, and you can use the mouse wheel to turn it.
Yep.
Or
So do I click the target first and then turn it, or click myself first and then target?
No,
You
you
click
click-
the target first, and you click it, you scroll to turn it, then you click it down. I think.
Roll doesn't really help.
Shift and Control to scroll. Does it work now? Mellows?
Oh yeah, I can talk and hold the buttons. I have a star where the icon starts. Is that where my spell starts, or where I want to hit somebody?
The
It
star
starts.
is where it starts.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I
Where-
place it first, and then
Yeah, where you're placing is where it'll start, and every colored square is the squares that will be affected by it.
okay. So I think I can place it in a way that doesn't hit our pilot, but it does hit old Paw, and doesn't even hit Rusty apparently, but it will hit the guard dog. Yes. Okay.
I don't think
Yeah,
guard dog
sure,
is hit
weapons.
points.
Yes.
Yep.
Also,
he
I'm
has-
using obviously the act as one thing again, where Broadway gets an extra movement, so I can do my free casting. So Broadway will move out of the way.
Conveniently in flanking position with fight. No?
That's a good point, actually. So
Well,
Could be
then
here,
again,
right?
you probably don't want to be attacking him, but
So
yeah, just in case.
So Lex,
Flanken would be here.
Okay, yeah, my bad. Okay.
Click the Inner Radiant Storage 2 rounds button in chat.
Radiant Torrent? With the free action button?
No, just the thing in chat. Click the last button, the 2 rounds.
Yes.
Now click damage.
Alright. Oh god.
Yep, it's a lot of dice. So you are going to be hitting Patrick, so he will make a save.
Yup.
Oh no.
He suffers damage. The Oni also rolls a save.
That's
Yay.
good.
Yay!
Fails. And
Good.
takes damage. And I don't believe that the spiritual weapon can take damage.
I
That is
don't
correct.
think
It
so.
cannot
This
take
isn't
damage.
Baldur's Gate.
Alright,
Yay.
nothing happens.
Alright.
Also, is the
Okay.
spiritual weapon a sustain spell?
It is not a sustained spell. Well, it keeps going by itself. It is not a concentration spell.
Oh, it is.
It's divine evocation force.
No, hold on. All the way in the
Oh,
bottom.
duration.
It says
It's sustained up to 1 minute.
Sustained means you have to spend one action each round to keep the spell going. If you don't do that, the spell ends. And you
Got it.
can keep that going for 1 minute or 10 rounds.
Well, it's not as painful as Witch Bolt's one action.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Alright, so you, Lex, you just blasted
I'm-
those 2 persons with magic energy, and that's it for your turn, I believe.
Unloaded and
Started
I'm done,
blasting.
yes.
Also, extra things happens.
Oh no.
You're shining for 1 minute, causing you to glow with light and deal 1 force damage to creatures that end their turn adjacent to you. And
Yep.
also, because it failed the save... No, and the critical failure. That didn't happen. Never mind then. He just takes damage.
I expected a bit more damage for 2 rounds of... But okay, yes.
Well, area of effect spells are meant to take more than 1 target at once.
Ah, yeah, probably true. Okay, never mind, yeah.
So that's your turn, and we're down to Knick-Knack.
Okay. Knick-knack, paddywhack.
What?
Chuck a fire potion at the Oni. Actually, no. I will spend 2 of my actions consuming a minor healing flask.
The consuming item has the manipulate trait, just so you know.
Oh, right, that is opportunity attacks, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Do you want to
Right,
risk
never
it?
mind. It's not worth healing if I'm going to take damage.
Absolutely
Okay. Well, then I'm going to disengage, I guess. What's the parameters of disengage? Because that has...
You have to use 1
Things
action
in
to
it.
step. And then
Yeah.
you move 5 feet without taking attack of opportunity.
Well,
However, I'll have you know, this creature has reach.
I know.
Yeah.
You have to step twice.
Yeah, I'm whatevering. Part of me wants to go like, because I'm in a liminal space at the moment. It's like, I want to dismount.
Get out of the back rooms.
Okay.
But I sort of want to do that.
Okay, fair.
Which I'm sort of in a halfway space.
You spend 1 action to step there without taking attack of opportunity. What next?
Yeah. Then I'm going to have Rusty. Well, now Rend is a much tastier option as opposed to the Slam. So, he's going to... he's going to attack. which
Hits.
hits and deals additional fire damage. Oh, thanks. Roll the minimum damage. And then I'm going to do that again.
Okay, so only 1 point of fire damage?
Yes.
Alright.
Just enough to
and
prevent the regeneration.
4 misses.
And also he takes
and
5
then-
extra from weakness.
Yep. And then I'm going to use Knickknack's last action to
Can you do that? Command
well-
Rusty with only 1 action?
Yep. It's 1 action to command Rusty, which gives him 2 actions.
Oh, okay, okay. Never
So
mind.
I end up with a net of 4.
Last action?
Yeah, I'm gonna then chuck an Alchemist's Fire at him, I think.
Sure.
Yes.
Target and attack.
That's...
You have to
Need
use it
to
from your
draw-
actions page.
Yeah, I realized. Draw and strike.
Hmm.
With great vengeance.
I missed that last time around. Drawing the potion to throw it is a manipulate action as well.
Yes. But he also hadn't acted yet, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh god.
Alright.
It's not a potion day for you, Knickknack. I'm sorry.
So Rusty, the Oni, and Meldon all take 1 splash damage from the fire.
So the Oni takes an additional 5 damage because it's fire.
True.
I only used an acid flask last time to artificially boost my things for my mission.
And that's your turn, I believe.
That is the extent of my turn, yes.
Alright, now would be the Oni's turn. Oh no, hold on. Splash does not apply if it's a critical failure.
Okay. Never mind then.
What a sussy baka I was. Okay.
Sorry, Baka.
It's the only... Also, we don't need these rulers in the field anymore.
Never
Yep.
knows. No.
What will it do? Seeing how things are going. It will use... Oh, it's mad. Absolutely mad at all this nonsense that you have got going on now, and it does not have a care in the world. It's going to fly over here, I guess? Just on the other side of Meldon.
And I need to program Rusty with an opportunity attack module because, Jesus,
And then
the opportunities are being wasted.
he's going to cast a spell.
Oh my.
Blah.
Blammo.
Cone of cold, holy smokes.
Oh no.
So
Anybody can counter spell something?
I need all of these
I
people.
could, but I don't have it on my. It's probably supposed to spell level
Can
5.
you... Yeah, spell level 5 is the difficult part.
I need
I think you can counter spell with Dispel Magic generally, but...
Can
Right?
I?
no. You need to have the counter spell
no.
feat.
Ah.
Okay.
I
Only-
do
No,
not have
and-
the counter spell speed.
Feat. Only wizards get that. And sorcerers,
Got
I believe. In any case, I need Wildak, Vice, Old, Patrick, Broadway, and Lex all to make basic reflex saving throws. You can just click the button in chat after selecting
Well,
those.
on the plus side, this should end any charm effect on Patrick. He will be dead, though.
Decision. What was the DC for that? 15?
16.
Goodbye, old Patrick. It was nice knowing you.
Actually, he's saved.
He did.
Goodbye, never lies, because damage hurts. Ouchie, ouch.
So Lex
How
and
much
Broadway
da-
both fail. So
How
both.
much damage are we talking to this?
Let me
it
roll.
doesn't.
The damage
He
is
rolls
Oh
12
my god, I
sixes.
think I want to re-roll. Yeah, I'm going to hero point that save throw, I'm sorry.
all right.
I'm going to roll a hero point to make him re-roll all of his damage dice.
No, I had the saving throw, sorry,
So-
I didn't.
Vice, you take half. Patrick takes half. Wildak takes half.
Damn it.
And yeah.
Nothing
is dead.
changed. for
So
me.
at that time I say, "Oh, Patrick is dead." I think he's dead.
He's probably dying, I think, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, sure.
Magic damage is. Never mind.
He is dying currently.
How much damage do I take?
Well, you take technically 52
Ooh.
on yourself and also 52 from Broadway, but technically what happens is that you take 52 points of damage, you are now dying 1. Broadway takes damage, also gets a gun.
I have 3 health left, I'm not dead.
What I'm going to say,
I had 55 or something. I have a lot of health.
58, you have a lot of constitution. Or rather, your class gives you a lot of points. So what happens is Broadway takes damage, you fails and takes the damage, then the damage goes to you, and then once the blast gets to you, you take 52 points of damage again.
I think I'm dying.
You are.
I think you're fucking dead because
No,
if it goes above your max health or
his
is it
maximum is
oh.
58.
Oh, never mind. You're fine. You're almost like dead, but
So,
not quite.
Lex, apply damage to you again.
Yeah.
Bleh.
Now you're dying.
Good to know. Do I have to put it on myself or? Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, that's the Oni's turn.
I didn't want to see anything anyway, it's fine.
Meldon.
He just murdered your friend, Meldon.
Meldon
care.
will run up to you, Knick-Knack, and be like, no, stop it. Fighting is bad.
He just killed Patrick.
He don't care. He's simping.
He's super simping. And he'll attack you, Knick-Knack. He'll miss.
No, he won't.
He'll try. And he hits with the dagger. So there you go, you suffer that much damage.
You're still alive, right?
7 piercing from the dagger.
Yep, I'm still alive.
Vice, you're up.
I'm going to be down soon.
Don't let it get you
Aren't
dead.
we all?
I woke. I see. I hit.
Don't forget your target.
I
It's good.
fall.
It's good.
I was brain. Please, you can do this. Fucking spell strike. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And to do spell strike, I need to strike him. Yes, I'm suffering. Take this,
You want to keep playing, so just a reminder.
There you go.
and I'll put burning hands into it.
Ooh.
Nice. Get his ass.
Burning Hand's an attack spell?
Oh wait, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not.
There was a saving throw.
Yeah, it's not an
It's a
attack spell.
saving
Is it?
throw. Fuck, why do did I prepare it then? Never mind, I will not attack him with my sword, I'll just use burning hands.
Instead, sure. Alright.
Good choice.
He'll try a save.
How do I spin the cone?
He fails. Actually, you don't even need to place. Hold down shift or shift and control to get more control. But I suppose you're only affecting him, so there's no need to place it down.
Sure. Tamash, eat this.
7. Fire. He
I
takes
think. Yeah, go ahead.
5 extra from weakness, and that's your turn.
No.
No.
Yes. Never
Yes.
mind. I won't.
Yes.
Maybe walk away from us so it doesn't do
No.
another cone attack. I don't know, or get heals. It's your
Oh yes,
Uh,
yes. I'll just do this. It's
Well
not my
done.
turn. I cannot spin.
What are you doing?
I wanted to change my position, but it's not my turn, so I cannot.
Well, you would have needed to change your position from the initial move.
Yeah.
All right, I am not. So you can remove the dog from the board.
Okay, you're not sustaining that spell.
No, I got to get people back up.
Sure.
Thank you, Bestie.
3 action. I am over 30 feet away from the Oni.
Perfect.
I am not over 30 feet away from the Oni. For wise.
You can't use the 3 action if you moved.
Oh, I
move.
took 1 step. I took 1 step.
You can retract that.
Yes. All right. Sorry, wise.
So you're using the 3
think I'm
action to
still-
disperse healing then.
Yes, you're within 30 feet. You're within 30 feet of me, and you're within. Okay.
I think it
The
works.
Oni is also in 30 feet of me.
You channel. Let's see.
Positive energy.
All targets. Yeah, this targets all living
All-
undead creatures in the burst.
Oh, but
Yep.
at least you give Lex another turn.
Yep.
True.
So
All
more
right,
than worth
here
it.
we go.
Probably worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you roll one heal point, then we'll benefit more from it than the Oni will.
Yeah, probably.
How about 11 points back to everybody on the field except for Nick, Knack, and Rusty?
That's not
Okay.
everybody.
And Meldum.
I
Oh,
don't
and
have
Meldon.
permission to
Excuse me,
heal
I can't see
myself.
Meldon. I can't see Meldon over there.
Yeah. So Lex, you heal 11 hit points.
I can't. I don't have permission to heal myself.
What?
Okay, now it works for some reason. It said I didn't have. Okay, never mind.
Maybe you needed to have your token selected.
I did, but whatever. It's fine.
And the Oni
And I will heal
also heals.
mine.
So can I lose the unconscious and dying? Right?
Yes, you lose dying 1.
I can remove it. Wow.
On your character sheet, on the very top left side, there's dying. It's marked 1, so right-click that. Can you do that?
Yes.
There
Okay.
you go.
There we go.
And I yell out, "Oh, Patrick, go get him! He killed you!"
Please tell me that taking damage will end the charm effect.
He
Problem?
less so taking damage, more so going unconscious. He gets up, or rather, yeah, he uses 1 action to stand up, shakes his head, another action to go over. Can he move 30 feet? He can't. The fool.
Just get out of the way at least.
Actually, he's not even going to go there. He's just going to come over here, target the Oni, and just growl at him that he's, controlling his mind. And bonk. Make up your mind, dice. He misses, and that's his turn.
Yay.
Lex, you're prone on the floor.
I can move, right? Yes.
Yep, you just need to use your action to get on your own 2 feet.
That's 1 action, right? So I have
Yeah.
2 left. Okay.
Mhm.
How do I unprone myself?
So on the effects page or on the top right, you can remove it next to chat. On the very top of the canvas. If you have your token selected on the top right of the battle map, you'll see some effects there.
Yeah, it says removal of off guard is prevented by prone.
Yeah, remove prone first.
But how?
Right click it.
By
Just
clicking
right
it.
click on it.
That's what happens when I right click it.
On prone.
That's because you're right-clicking off guard, not prone.
Is the second effect.
Oh my god, I'm so silly. Okay.
Yeah, the conditional nonsense is kind of wacky.
Okay, so
Alright, so I have
you stand
2
up.
actions left, right?
Yeah, you have 2 actions left.
Maybe it's best to move and use a 1 action spell, so I'm thinking.
I don't think you have 1 action spells, do you?
That's a good point, actually. I have shields, but yeah. Do I? I can use a 2-action magic missile, or I can move so I don't get hit again. So I don't know what's smarter, to be honest.
I believe you also have a Ray of Frost that you can use.
Reinforced.
You have Magic Missile, which is good.
Yeah, I think since I have both spell slots left, I just go for magic missile with 2 actions then. It's
Or you
probably
can use
smarter.
the
Magic.
you can use the Inner Radiance Torrent again, but only with 2 actions.
Magic missile should do more damage since it's single target, right? Just
Maybe. Oh, up to you, really.
We'll do like 2d4 plus 2.
that's 1d4 plus 1 versus 4d4. Actually, yeah, but there's no way of not hitting my teammates with the radiant, so I'm just going magic
Yeah,
missile.
fair enough. Okay. So you're using 2 actions, click the damage button twice.
Yup.
Oh, there you go. 3, and another 3. And that's your turn.
God damn it, yes.
Knick-knack.
Okay, Rusty is going to run over this way.
Without you.
Yep, without me.
Leave me
Going
behind.
to target this boy and is going to slam into him. Hopefully, did that get the...
Yes, it is flanking, but does not hit.
Did it get the flanking bonus?
It did.
Because that's normally a +6. +9. No, that didn't add the flanking bonus.
It did. The
Did
flanking
it?
bonus removes the AC from the creature, doesn't give you a plus to hit.
Oh, right. Yes, sorry. My bad. That's Rusty's turn.
Oh, he's just moving.
He moved and attacked.
Oh, okay. And you?
Well, seeing as Rusty has triggered any attacks opportunity that Meldon might have had, I hope. It was
No,
Patrick
but
that attacked of opportunity to me, wasn't it?
But that's a good question. Rusty does trigger the attack of opportunity from the Oni, because he walked into his area.
True.
So he'll get sworded to the face. And Rusty suffers that much damage of the slashing. Magical slashing kind.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, this one hurts.
Yep.
Alright, carry on.
Okay. I have 2 actions left. Do I even want to take a... Then again... I'm going to draw a lesser healing potion
Mm-hmm.
and consume it.
Can you do that?
I have 2 actions,
Oh, okay.
so I fucking hope so.
Alright, go for it.
It's always like that on those.
Heal up, Boyo.
And
And
that's
as
my turn.
Chug.
the Oni is up, and the Oni is angry. It does not quite like what all that happened. I don't believe he suffered acid or fire damage since his last turn.
He took a heat metal wave hands
Yes, from Wise.
Correct. Never mind.
Yep, burning.
Did he?
Burning hands.
Quick question: did they only take the rusted damage? Oh no, he missed. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
So Dione does not like your face, Vice, and he's going to attack you.
That's not fair. There's a face behind you.
You did the immunity
Actually-
healing thing. Whatever.
No, as an action, I'll pull out the book about that.
Show him your smart collection, maybe.
Actually, first he's going to target you, Vice, and... Hold on. Let me just double check something real quick. Ah. Oh, this is already heightened. That's nasty. Super nasty. Okay. He's going to upcast at 3rd level. Fear! I need everyone to make me a will saving throw.
Jesus fuck.
Oh, good lord.
Actually, no, never mind. Not everyone. Everyone that's within 30 feet. So that'll be Nick Knack, Vice, and Wildeck. Not
Wildeck?
Lex.
Rusty
Oh,
is
me?
immune to fear, I think.
That's a
Me?
hero point for sure.
Yeah, Wildeck as well. You're within 30 feet of Dione.
So 20.
Nice one.
Rusty is not immune to fear.
Yeah.
How?
Rusty also makes a save.
The machine. What the hell? Nice one.
Good going, Rusty.
Good job,
Uh,
Patrick.
Rusty didn't do a save like I wanted him to. He fails. He's scoured.
So everyone who succeeded is frightened 1, everyone who failed is frightened 2, and that's it. Nobody critically failed, I don't think.
Alright, so I'm frightened 1.
Visor frightened 2. Old Patrick is frightened 1. And Nick Knack, you made your save. I mean, you did your thing. Meldon. Ugh.
A 1!
That's what getting mind control gets you. Bitch.
He's frightened and fleeing. Alright. Now with the last action that Dione has, he's going to attack you, Vice. Speaking of which, Frighten reduces every one of your DCs by its value. And AC is a DC, so...
Fear right, there it is. Targets up to 5 creatures.
He'll
Yes.
hit you with that,
Nope,
Vice.
no, there's one extra creature in this area.
He will
three-
not take Meldon then in that case, right? If you only can hit 5 people with Frighten.
Yeah, sorry about that. Patrick is good.
He's a good boy, yeah.
Okay, Vice, you suffered this much damage. 23.
23.
Oh wow.
Leaves you at 3 hit points.
Exactly.
And that's his
I
turn.
don't have any good loot.
Meldon is absolutely scared shitless. He's going to spend all of his actions just running away to the edge of the cave.
Which provokes an opportunity attack.
Meldon.
Don't run too deep into hell.
Vice, you're up.
That's fine.
Speaking of which, if you don't have dark vision and you're moving in an area of darkness, you have to use twice movement speed.
Does he have dark vision, Meldon?
He's
He
an elf,
doesn't.
which
Well,
gives him low light vision.
that's
but
why he
I'm not
used
sure
all
how
of-
that works.
That's why he
Ah.
could only get there. In any
Okay,
case,
okay.
Vice, you're up. What do you do?
Suffering.
I'm coming behind you, buddy. I'm coming behind you.
Fire damage is good.
I slash at the
Or acid damage is also good. So. If you're poisoned,
I'm not getting benefits of Rusty being there.
That's because
Or
it affects
flanking?
his AC, not the attack roll.
Right.
Why is it so confusing?
I know.
Let's strike at you again. I strike. I still have one action left.
Do you have a... I guess not. Multiple attack penalty -10. Holy shit.
Yep, that's why you don't want to attack multiple times.
I know, but damn. I thought it was like -2 or something.
Are you
Nope.
using any action hero points to reroll any of that?
I
No, you
think
don't
he
even
has
have.
more.
Never mind. Wildak.
That's my movement. I get right next to him, and it's time for some battle medicine.
Sure. You
Oh,
use
wow.
one action to move there.
I do.
Notices your battle medicine.
This is my battle medicine.
Uwu pounces onto your battle medicine.
Give me just a second because I have to adjust that to Doug's number. I have to look at my little sheet, which is 17.
So it's agreed we're spending this Oni soul on fuel.
It's only fitting. Oh, nice.
So critical success, wise heal 23 points.
Oh.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Like nothing happened.
You are revived, baby.
And does your attack. And that's just one action, isn't
Alright.
it?
That's one action.
He moved, so he has one action left.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do, but I have absolutely nothing other than heal that I can do.
Recall
for
knowledge.
Guidance.
That. Recall guidance on wise.
Yes, probably.
Guess I'm not going to get hit one turn because next turn I have to hit.
Or you can.
I hope so.
I'm too far away, right? I can use the radiant, but I'll hit somebody.
There we go. Get your guidance effect and immunity on you.
By the way,
Well.
Lex, if you use the Radiance as 2 actions, the only effect is that the line is shorter. It's 60 feet
No.
instead of 120.
But it's still 5 feet wide, so I'm still heading somebody I shouldn't.
Yeah, but you could use one action to move and then shoot to cast a thing. But also,
Yeah.
people could have gotten out of the way. Old Patrick is going to...
Get
target-
out of the way, old Patrick. Move up north, towards the north side, please.
Sure. He starts to move. Attack of opportunity. He's down again.
Pretty much.
No,
No.
the Oni's
Just had a turn.
No, fuck.
Yeah,
he
he's-
has a
yeah.
turn after me. Damn it.
Patrick
Yeah, he's saving it for you, Nick Nag, I'm sorry. Wait, no.
is going to try and attack the Oni 3 times as well. Can't do much else. Misses the first. Ah, he hits the second. Look at him.
Yay.
For 11 damage. Nice.
Bonk.
There we go.
Oh no.
That's my power to regen.
Wait,
I put the damage
You
again.
had-
you fucked up, Doug.
I healed that thing.
Sorry.
Fuck.
Get himself in a confusion, yes.
He's a Pokemon, the poor boy.
Yeah.
And he misses the last one. That's all that Patrick does.
Oh, Christ.
Sorry. Lex, you're up.
Oh, lost my
Didn't
shit.
move. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it.
Oh.
I will. I'm thinking. I'm not thinking good though, so.
Can you not move down around and so you can like zap straight up?
I can, but I'm pretty close, so I'm worried of getting. I can move 25.
Sure.
20?
That's here,
That's your
Curtis.
speed. Your speed is 20.
That's even worse. God damn it. I would be here. I can't ping for some reason. Oh, yeah, okay now. I probably. Maybe Alcantara.
Magic missile again.
Yeah.
That
Doesn't-
doesn't hit anybody else.
It works.
Fuck it. Or?
And you have 3 actions.
Yep.
Tried and
I don't
true.
know. Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. You convinced me. A 1, a 2, a 3. Where's the first one? Press the
5
three. Yeah.
and 5 and a 2.
Where's
One
it?
more.
Another
And a
5.
5.
Yeah.
Nice. Lots
That
of
was a
them.
good one.
That's the end of your turn. Knick-knack. You're up. You and Rusty.
Yep.
Kill him.
Do it,
I'm this.
Rusty.
Yep. I'm
Rangers.
going to... What is the reach of a alchemist's fire, actually? 20 feet. No, so I can't really do that. Anyway, Rusty's going to spend 2 actions attacking the Oni. Let's target him. Boop.
Oh.
Yay.
You didn't target, but I believe it hits.
I did target. I'm targeting it. It even
I
has
see
the
the
targeted
blue-
things.
I see the blue dot up above him.
Huh, weird.
But I think it's
Um,
targeted by you and not Rusty.
Yeah, because technically you can't control... In any case. It hits with 17. He's been
Damage.
flunked. 14.
Nice.
Nice.
With
Kadunk.
some additional fire damage because fuck you.
Please, he has 1 HP left or something.
He does have
Ew!
only 1 hit point left, and...
No.
Oh no!
Yeah. Yes.
Blammo.
Suck it, bitch.
With that last
Well done.
chompy bite, you... Rusty closes his jaws on the Oni, and the Oni can't do much else other than to scream in agony and pain as it explodes and disappears, dissipates, melts down. You know the deal with these titans. They cease to exist. There's no physical evidence left, pretty much, except for the fact that
Leaves a giant ass sword.
He does, actually.
And the essence, please. Thank you.
And the
You need
essence,
to
yes.
fill the ship. Yes.
So I'm going to hand all of this to you, Knick-knack, just to make things simple. So you get all that he was carrying, which is a breastplate, do with it as you will, a composite short bow, do with it as you will, and a +1 striking falchion.
Ooh.
Falchion.
Falchion.
Tucson.
Tucson.
With a +1 striking tucson.
Ooh, it has striking on it.
It
Yummy.
does. It's extra
Striking.
delicious. And that's the end
And
of
we should-
it.
Yeah, we should probably divide it up next time.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's do that next.
We are going to be dividing all of that up next time. I'm just calculating the experience you all get, which is 142 plus 30 for exploiting weakness, so 172 experience. Try everyone.
Yay.
Woo!
Yay, there you go.
Yeah.
And I'll heal everyone next time.
Yep.
Next episode.
So with
I
that,
even got a spell to heal Rusty with.
Nice.
Sweet.
you defeat the Oni. You saved both old Patrick and Meldon without any of them dying for real. And yeah, things are great. Congratulations, everyone. You also didn't die, which is good.
Just a quick little death doesn't count.
Yeah, getting knocked out
It
doesn't
was just
count.
a nap. It was a nap.
In any
You'll
case,
have a
Power
concussion
up.
tomorrow. Actually, no, that was ice, really.
yeah, he's gonna have a
Or-
cold.
I just passed out for a minute for the cold, yes.
So this is gonna be it for today. We have run almost an hour over time, but hey, I hope you enjoyed this combat scenario.
It's great.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm glad we didn't die.
Oh yeah.
That
Because we
went
came
way
in
better than
woefully
expected.
unprepared.
Yeah, he was level 8, right? Like, what
Yeah.
the hell?
Level 8. Just level 8.
Woohoo!
Yep.
I mean, we're
Just-
level 4. Shouldn't we be on the level for this, or does it work differently in Pathfinder?
Oh, technically you are. In level
Uh,
to do with it because you have the numbers. There's 4 of you, 1 of him.
Be thankful that we're running proficiency without levels.
Yeah, otherwise
Otherwise, we would have been fucked.
it would have
Oh.
been murder.
Yeah, that's what. Yes.
Yeah, because his DCs and attacks would be 4 higher than ours.
In any case, thank you guys so very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed taking some time with us here on the game today. Stream Twitch viewers and future YouTube replay viewers. And thank you guys, all 4 of you, for playing and killing the Oni and rescuing your pilot. Again.
Yeah.
Well, have a wonderful rest of the week and weekend, everyone, at the streams, and I'll be seeing you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Twitch peeps.
Bye.